well met, humble friends. Welcome to Humblewood, Yonderbound, the second season of the Humblewood game here on Sword and Key. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for spending part of your Sunday question mark time period with us. Um, yeah, if you're watching this later, time's weird. I'm Derek Sword. I am your GM for this game. I use he/him pronouns. I am joined as always by these very lovely individuals who I will have introduce themselves momentarily. But before I'm done talking, I do want to say a couple of things. First of all, this is a Sword and Key game, so you can find all of Sword and Key stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find all our affiliate ships if you're looking to buy cool stuff, including like stuff from Hit Point Press, because hey, we're actually an affiliate with Hit Point Press. And so I went and picked up Griffin Saddlebag 2 and also Humblewood Tales. So if you were looking to get any of their very fine products, including animated spell cards, their Fablemaker deck, any of their games like Heckna, or Humblewood stuff, you can use our special link for that. So check it out. You can also find our ongoing philanthropic endeavors like Fauna and Flora International, which we support here. If you are willing and able to donate to that amazing cause, you can help preserve and protect biomes and the animals that live within them, and also help integrate people into the ever encroaching, as we encroach our civilization into natural environments, better help that process. That's the work that Fauna and Flora does. So if you got a few extra bucks sitting around that you don't mind converting into British pounds, check out our Tiltify link, and you can actually impact this game if you donate in certain amounts. But they are a British based organization, UK based organization, so do consider that there will be a exchange rate sort of thing. Also, speaking of Fauna and Flora International, they have been very generous in the past and continue to do so, and they have donated a number of goods as well as a code to us for this season of Humblewood. So last episode we did a giveaway for a pin that is one of 5, so we will be doing another one today, as well as we did hit our donation goal, so we'll be doing a giveaway for a code for a free hoodie. Essentially, this code is actually 45 pounds sterling. So it does cover the cost of a hoodie plus shipping. However, you can use it for whatever you like on the store. There's a lot of really great stuff on there, especially if you like pangolins and or any other animals. Um, they have a cause that they are particularly fighting for right now. We'll talk about that probably around break, and we will do the giveaway like process after break. So stick around. Um, I believe that is all the stuff that I need to say right up at the top. So let's go ahead and go around, have these lovely people introduce themselves. Shadow, if you don't mind starting us out.
Hello, I am Shadow, and I'm playing Clarence. He uses they, he pronouns. Clarence is a Lupu College of the Undead Road Bardlock and has regrets.
How many, I wonder?
Probably just one right now.
Okay, just one big one. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's tiny. It's in the grand scheme of things. Yeah.
Okay. We'll get to that. Next up we have Liz.
Oh, hi friends, I'm Liz. I use she, they pronouns, and today I'm playing Betty Brightpaw, who is your, uh, every time. It's like it just leaves my brain when we get here, every single time. Path of the Storm Herald Barbarian, who uses she, her pronouns.
I always
And
want to
she,
say Tempest Barbarian. So that's
she doesn't
fair.
have any regrets, so everything's
Not a single
great.
one?
Not a single one.
Yeah. Fantastic. Next up we have Queon.
Hello, you beautiful people. I am Queon. I go by Brother Queon across everywhere. I use he, they pronouns, but I will be playing Soren Dryspell, the Circle of Sand Druid who uses he, him pronouns. He's also the most unlucky, lucky little gecko Tilia guy you'll ever meet. His only regret is that he is not the grandson of this giant dino lady that is roaring at us.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if anything, Argus probably has the best like run to that, considering like dinos as birds. Dinos as birds. Next up we have Mochi.
Can just call me Anniek. Hi, I'm Anniek. I play Mochi here on
The ears
Sundays.
threw me off. I'm sorry.
It's the ears, it's the tattoo. It's fine. We're fine. Uh, I go by she, they pronouns. Mochi goes by she, her pronouns. And Mochi is just an adorable little Maypack, trickery cleric, advisor to His Royal Highness in all things clerical. And hand deliverer of obnoxious roosters.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get to that too. And last but absolutely not least, the only true dinosaur that I believe we have in the party, Christian.
Hello. Hi. Hey, everybody. My name is Christian, aka Fluffy Goomba, all over the internets. I'm a teacher, RPG performer, educator, and event coordinator here in the space, and I will be playing Argus Ironclaw, uh, the Swift Strig Scofflaw fighter and king of the Crest Mountains.
Fantastic. I also saw Shadow laughing that I indicated that Christian was a dinosaur. I'm older than Christian, so I would never indicate that. I also got mixed up that I shouldn't call my players by their character names when they're doing introductions. I've done this before.
That's not why I was laughing.
But the real
Oh, great.
question
Well, then
is-
I just called myself out on that one. Okay.
I mean, that's why
Anniek.
I was laughing, by the way.
Thank you, Liz.
do-
Thank you for the validation there.
Does Argus have any regrets? Everybody else talked about it, so I figured.
I mean, the one regret is that he has to listen to this fuck ass Pirate King, but that's about it.
Fair enough. Shadow, I hesitate to ask why you're laughing, so I won't. Anniek, I believe you have the recap. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes. High quality recap incoming. Before even the actual recap started, important to mention, we allowed ourselves to be captured by some pirate bandit crossover things. So we finished breaking ourselves out, but we didn't have any of our stuff, which is a problem. And then we also didn't have like our crew or anything, which is also a problem. So we figured, one thing at a time, plan carefully, get our stuff, get our people, and then kill all the pirate bandit people. Me and Soren, genius plan, go invisible, sneak around, talk to a Triceratops, get the Triceratops to like buck off the rooster person thing who claims he's king of the pirate bandit people, because he has beef with Argus from way back. So we don't like him, so he's top of the kill list. And our plan executed flawlessly. When invisible, talk to a Triceratops, got the Triceratops on our side. Perfect, new best friend. Noticed the people who captured us were getting a little nervous about the lightning and the visible vibration in the water and the thing coming from beyond the darkness, which was apparently called the Queen of Feathers. Decided to ignore that part, carry on with our plan. Weren't fast enough. Queen of Feathers showed up, turned out to be I think, according to the rules, gargantuan T-Rex. Bit of feathers, lots of lightning, coming to eat us. Did not want to be eaten. Not morally opposed to others being eaten necessarily. So Mochi and Clarence did some shenanigans, flavored up some of the bad guys, so the bad guys were the snack, and then decided for our group to go for the tactical retreat, get our people, get out, see how many dinosaurs we can fit on our boat and their boat, because they're not going to need it anymore. Remembered that we promised Argus that we would deal with the Gallus. I've already got Ferdinand, stupid name, stupid bird. Anyway, promised Argus that he could deal with him, and he was trying to run. So some more shenanigans that are definitely not morally gray. It's on the cleric spell list. It is allowed. Cast Gius and made him bend the knee to Argus for the next 30 days. And kept running. At least Mochi and Ferdinand are running. The rest were on this spirit dragon thing that Soren conjured, and they were just so close to escaping. And then for some reason that Mochi nor I understand, I do, Clarence turned around and Eldritch blasted the T-Rex that was blissfully numbing the pre-flavored pirates that we spent a lot of work on, and thereby causing the T-Rex to blast the fairy dragon light thing out of the sky, and now they're all in the mud and gross, and I'm just glad I'm not like with them, but like near with them. We send Ferdinand to go rescue our crew while regroup, slap Clarence back to life because they're knocked out because of their stupidity, which honestly it's a form of justice. I don't think a cleric should feel that way, but if it feels justified. Slap Clarence back to life. Keep going. That's the plan.
Excellent job, Anniek. Please enjoy your point of inspiration. I do believe that I think the one point of clarification is that the spirit dragon did not topple out of the sky. I do believe that Clarence went down to 0 hit points, but I believe that the dragon retained enough hit points and did make a save to stay airborne. So there is
We
just
still have Petunia.
Yes, so yes, there is an unconscious.
Look, it just looked very
Clarence.
dramatic. There was tilting down and screeching out.
Well, I think,
This is
yeah,
bad.
absolutely. And I think the biggest concern is that there's an unconscious Clarence on the back of this thing just ragdolling off the back. So that might be
It's a
a
slight
concern
issue.
here. It sure is. So let's go ahead and jump back into it, as you all seem to have made the decision to flee,
Tactically retreat.
tactically retreat
We've
from
been over this.
the Queen of Feathers. You got all your stuff. That's great. A number of bandits have also chosen to tactically retreat, and with the spell of Gaius, you have gotten Ferdinand on your side and have given him the command to free the rest of your crew. So he is on the back of a clawfoot raptor and is dashing to do so. Mochi, you are on the ground. I believe everybody else except for Lorelei is airborne. And then the Triceratops was also rampaging south. We're not necessarily in initiative order here unless you did want to engage with the T-Rex anymore. So what I'm just going to say is we've got the Draconic Spirit, we've got Mosty on the back. Well, actually, I'm kind of thinking about it now because Clarence, you will need to make death saves. Unless anybody is moving to immediately stabilize. So let's go ahead and roll for initiative real quick, just so we can kind of get some structure to this chaos.
I have my shield again. Oh, thank you.
Yes, you can all consider yourselves, fully armored, fully armed, as you would otherwise be. We can say that.
Right now, it's mainly the advantage on initiative I'm grateful for. Because that was a 2. And now it isn't.
Okay. All right, Mochi, what did you get?
18.
Very nice. Okay. Argus, what about you?
You did.
I also got an 18. So.
Very nice. Okay. We will subtract that here in a second. Betty, what about you? Liz, I think you muted if you answered.
Oh, I did. 15. Sorry.
Okay. Clarence.
13.
Okay. And who am I missing? That's Mochi, Argus, Betty, Clarence, Argus, Mochi, Argus,
Soren?
Betty, Soren. Yeah.
I was gonna see how long it took. I got a dirty 20.
Very nice. And that actually works out story-wise. Okay. And Mochi, Argus, do you have a preference as to who goes first?
I will let the healer go first.
Fair enough.
I was about to say, how good's your healing?
I mean, considering I'm on the claws of this thing and I can't see what's happening.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go first.
We will consider that to be our role. If we need to bring in the Triceratops or anybody else, we will. But as you all go to flee, then Soren, you are up first. You are airbound with the most of your party. What would you like to do? You can obviously control your Draconic Spirit or do anything else in that time.
I just need to make sure, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Okay, yeah, no action required for controlling my draconic spirit.
Mhm.
So I feel like Clarence slump onto me,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I kind of like wrap my tail around them. I'm like, Clarence, Clarence. Sorry, Clarence. No response.
You actually do get a response. You hear, "I'm fine. I'm okay," and you feel like a very limp like tap on your back.
From Clarence.
Hmm.
That's Clarence's voice.
And you could, I mean, if you're really unsure, you could roll like insight.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I would like to roll insight.
Okay.
I believe that's Clarence. Well, I got a 10.
Yeah.
Was that out loud or was
It
that?
was.
Can any of the rest of us roll insight to see if
Um.
like the voice like is the voice like completely different and we're just
That
like supposed
I mean,
to believe
I
it?
leave that up to all of you and my wonderful impersonation skills.
seeing that it didn't come out of Shadow's mouth, I'm assuming that it's not.
So here's my GM justification for all this. Clarence is behind Soren. Betty and Argus are in the claws of this draconic spirit,
Valid.
so they're not exactly on the back of it. So you could absolutely do an insight, but I would give it a disadvantage considering you have wind rushing in your
Yeah,
ears.
we probably
You can't
didn't
necessarily
hear
see.
it. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be close enough that you're like, yeah, Clarence is fine.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Of course, he sounds terrible. He just got hit.
This is true. This is true. Um, I'm assuming a 10 doesn't give me a thing.
As far as you can tell, Clarence, I mean, might be a little injured. That pat on the back felt pretty limp, but as far, I mean, who else would it be?
I don't like this at all.
Whomst indeed.
Almost indeed. But seeing that I don't know that this is not Clarence, like Soren's gonna wrap his tail around Clarence, and I am gonna cast Cure Wounds just because of like, I Clarence, what's like, because I know we both got rattled. So eat um 12 points of healing.
How many points? I'm sorry.
12.
12. Fantastic. Okay.
Clarence. And then I would tell Petunia to book it to the ship, aka dash.
You got it. Yeah, Clarence, I think with 12 hit points back, that brings you back to consciousness. Okay. Next up, then we have Mochi.
I also need to get back to the ship, and I'm not on a flying thing. And there was a lot of water and stuff, and it's just real gross and things. I'm gonna entirely mute it. I'm gonna give myself freedom of movement.
Okay.
So I don't get slowed down by rough terrain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will also dash on.
So in like this low water that maybe has like a mucky kind of suction, all of a sudden you just feel like just light on your feet, and you're able to move much more swiftly through this terrain, as if it
Yeah.
was walking on solid ground.
Exactly. And we just keep moving.
Okay. All right then. We have Argus. So you were aboard the Draconic Spirit as well. If you just want to hang out, that's always an option. If you want to like drop shit on people's heads, also great. Um,
Quick question of clarity.
Yeah.
How far is the ship from us?
So let's see. Where you're kind of at the center of camp right now. We could probably say that the ship is probably about a quarter mile from you.
Damn.
But if you can like we don't have to do like turn after turn after turn to get to a quarter mile. That would be ridiculous. So we can get to like a certain stopping point where like if the Queen of Feathers is distracted enough, it's going to be kind of, you all timing how long it takes for her to get through her meal and then start looking for more. So
I'm just asking because Petunia has 120 feet of dash speed.
Nice.
okay, if you all with Clarence
She's a
back,
quick one.
with Clarence back to having full health points, hit points, with Mochi having freedom of movement. If you all want to get out of combat at this point, the Queen of Feathers does not seem to be like noticing you. You kind of look back. She is just chomping down on the bandits that had already been killed and the few that are kind of just standing around. So if you all want to like do your own thing from here, we absolutely can transition to that.
Hey, I'm cool with that.
Yes,
They've got a full buffet at this place, so
For sure.
Like they all taste like barbecue chicken.
that's right. He did spice them and sent them,
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Mochi, you see
which is
through
one of the
this.
wildest things I think I've ever heard in this game. You
He
hit 'em
thought
with-
it was a good idea.
hit them with herbs and spices, and like
Who
here.
doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't
Yeah.
like a little Gochong pirate? You know?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Whatever doesn't get us chomped on, I'm cool
Yeah.
with.
Exactly. It was a valid strategy, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
So
Also, before you get mad at Mochi about anything, focus on Clarence and Clarence's problems.
Okay, whoa. Flavoring up the bandits wasn't Clarence's idea.
Clarence, real
You
quick,
did
give
at
me
least
a
half
wisdom
of them.
Oh no.
Save. Clarence, give me a wisdom save with disadvantage, please.
Oh no.
What could
Rats.
possibly go wrong?
Oh, with the disadvantage. Okay. Instead of a nat 20, that's a 3.
Clarence.
Okay.
They're not strong.
Okay. So Mochi, you are conscious. You are
Clarence
awake.
is conscious. Mochi is conscious.
I'm sorry.
I was
Clarence.
already conscious.
You are.
Don't bring me into this.
Everybody's
fine.
conscious.
Don't bring me into this. Okay.
Don't bring me into this.
I'm sorry.
just
Made up
around.
name. Okay. I have it in my copy. Clarence,
I'm just a
you
little
are
baby
you are
raccoon.
conscious, but you are being John Malkovich in your own body. If that is a reference that anybody gets, you are essentially
Got it.
looking through your own eyes as if it were like a movie. The movement of your body, you don't necessarily feel fully in control of. It's kind of sluggish as you go to do something, and sometimes like you'll go to do something and feel like resistance against it, like your body's trying to do something else, and then sometimes it releases, like sometimes it doesn't. It feels like there's like resistance to you, like weight, like you might be moving through mud or very deep water. But otherwise you seem fine. Maybe it's just shaken off getting blasted by lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's reasonable,
Thank you, Shadow. Um, so you all look down to see that Ferdinand, riding on his Clawfoot Raptor, is dashing for the cages where your crew are kept. The rest of the bandit camp is just in chaos. It's still raining. There are bandits that are like grabbing for torches and running here and there. The Triceratops has been wrecking through like the shacks, and so they're also fleeing from that. And then horns are blaring, and the bandits that were near the Queen of Feathers are now shouting back to all of the others that the Queen of Feathers is on a rampage. And so it's just absolute chaos beneath, below. And they all like look to Ferdinand, who is not paying attention to them, is not answering them. If anything, he is yelling for them to release the captives. Are you all heading straight for the ship? Okay. Then especially not having to deal with all of the chaos below. Presuming that the Draconic Spirit lasts long enough, you all get back to the riverway and find the blockade still in place, as well as your ship has kind of been pulled around to like a little tributary, and easy enough for you all to maneuver, but you would definitely need to move essentially like these water gates. this makeshift um, canal system that has been set up. So these gates have kind of been stopped. That's what stopped your ship in the first place. This long chain and these two heavy wooden, like cobbled together, strapped together kind of doors. Um, how would you all like to handle that as you presume your crew is being freed?
I think just like walking over to where the mechanism is that controls the gate. I
Mm-hmm.
think Argus will head there to see what he can do to bring it down.
Yeah. The way the mechanism works is, I mean, very easy to tell. Gear system with a crank. Argus, if you want to do a strength check,
I
that
sure
is,
do.
I figured that would be your literal strength.
Huzzah! 24.
20. Yeah, absolutely. So Argus, not even having to put in all of your strength, you very quickly are moving this wooden doorway, this wooden gate out of the way, opening it, and after you get to a certain point, it locks in place. The chain also drops, so you now have an open path. Who is handling backing up the ship?
What kind of check would that be?
That would be a probably make it a water vehicles check.
Oh, I have a land. I have water vehicles. I got to swap vehicles land for water vehicles water when I learned bodyboarding.
So do Betty and Mochi.
Betty
The
emoji.
beauty of D&D that boogie boarding and three masted ships are all encompassed by the same
Hey,
ability check.
they touch water. It's fine.
They touch water. That's all that matters.
Like at least it's teamwork, right? Betty and Mochi can like do it together.
For sure. So if one of you wants to roll with advantage, then
Uh, I have. What's the role? Because I know I have like it's for me.
oh, that's right,
It's
because it's
just
not. It has
under
to be attached to an
tools.
ability, right? Let's call this.
Insight for maneuvering and stuff.
Yeah, what would you even call that? I would probably say survival as you're trying to navigate water and not like bump into rocks.
I think Betty is probably like port, starboard, like trying to direct her, and maybe I don't know. I guess that would like Mochi be like, "Oh, port is that this way?" Oh,
To be
Mind
fair,
the music list.
I have a +8 survival,
oh
and as long
shoot,
as it has like cogs and wheels, Mochi's down with it.
love it.
Uh,
Yeah,
I'm rolling,
yeah, it
and
sounds
you're
like it.
Yo, yeah,
guiding.
I'm helping. Yeah,
Oh yeah, perfect. Oh, thank God for advantage. 15 and 8 is 23.
23. Yeah.
23. The other one was a 1.
So Betty's kind of standing there, like where you can see out of your rearview mirror because you don't have a back mirror, and that's what makes it really tough. That when you're trying to like back out of a small space, and you are able to reef the sails, and I'm gonna say with enough like get up and go, maybe even Betty, giving this thing a little barbarian shove, you're able to kind of back the ship out and spin the captain's wheel enough to where you are now facing the same direction you were originally facing when you encountered the bandits. Um, Throughout all of this, no perception check needed. You can hear the thundering footsteps now increasing. It seems that the queen has been working through her meal and is continuing her rampage through the camp. Um, let's
Have
go
our
ahead.
people made it onto the ship yet?
Not yet. That's the thing we're now waiting for. Is you all flew their way there. Everybody
Uh
else
huh.
is on foot. We can say, Mochi with freedom of movement moved a lot faster than everybody else. But Ferdinand was kind of, had to deal with two different cages. Um, However, you can see and kind of hear like these thundering of footsteps on the boardwalk. And you can see that at the head of a long line of humble folk, Ferdinand on his clawfoot raptor, kind of leading them, channeling them along with this great axe at his side. And as they all arrive to the ship, boardwalk down, they all immediately begin loading up. Are you like, if some bandits get on board, is that going to be a big deal to any of you? Or are you all just like making sure it's your crew?
I mean, they
I'm
technically work
steering.
for
I don't have
Argus
time
now,
to look
right?
who's coming aboard.
I'm sorry, Anniek, say what you said one more time.
I'm trying to maneuver a ship for the first time in my life. I don't have
Fair
time
enough.
to see who's coming aboard.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, Clarence lets him on. Clarence lets everybody on.
Yeah, all right. What's going on here, Clarence?
Clarence, there are. Let's see. There's a couple that are kind of right at the end where you find yourself kind of like holding onto their shoulders very quickly. This is something where like everybody's kind of running on. There's a whole bunch of chaos going on, and you are able to kind of like just grab onto the shoulders of two of these bandits, and you would watch through your own eyes as you seemingly absorb life essence out of them. They seem to like kind of shrivel and fall back off of the boardwalk into the water with this splash. Nobody really seems to notice. You do feel revitalized. You can take an additional 21 hit points.
Oh, okay.
Actually, make that 42 because you got two of them.
42?
Oh,
42
okay.
hit points.
Oh my god!
Oh,
That's
okay.
substantial. That's a
No
lot.
big deal.
We have a
Deal.
small lich on the boat. Okay, cool. Cool.
Apparently, murder pays. Who knew?
We loot the bodies anyway. So Derek, remember when I had that cap on my HP because I wouldn't let Cal help me?
That cap is not there anymore.
Okay.
Weird.
There that is.
Weird.
So,
That's
like,
strange.
hey, remember that poll we all did?
And you
I feel like Derek should change his vote. That's all I'm saying.
listen, so we had a poll on the Discord as to who was going to change their alignment. I don't think that Mochi's going to turn like evil. I just think that like any sense of lawfulness left in Mochi is going to go right out the window and just go full chaotic neutral.
Okay, you might have a point.
Yes. It's not necessarily like, oh, it's a good to bad thing. It's just no, I think Mochi's just absolutely going to be doing her own thing.
And yet you
100%.
do this.
So
42?
Hey, we're bandits.
Clarence, much like coming out of like a drunken stupor, you sober up all of a sudden, and like all that that resistance seems to go away, and your eyes kind of become clear, and you have full control over yourself once again. Okay.
Is that the last of the people coming on board?
Yes, that was everybody. You can see that there's still the Triceratops, which is kind of doing its own thing. If you hold one of the Triceratops, that's something you're going to have to kind of communicate to it. But you have all the humble folk who seemed like they were going to be coming aboard. You have all of the sailors kind of going to their tasks. A number of bandits kind of just standing around with Ferdinand on his clawfoot raptor, all just kind of looking around. Hands like they're not. They have weapons on them, but they are not drawn. As they're kind of just look frantically around us now. They are the vast minority of people on the ship.
Are there any of like the other dinosaurs like running around like on the docks? Like have they all like fled?
Yeah, any dinosaurs I think you saw have kind of broken their shackles and run back into the forest. Any of the clawfoots have like torn off their saddles and are running out back into the wild.
They're running free. Okay, all right, that's good.
How
Clarence,
big is
like
my grandson?
Yeah, if Soren has animal speaking back still back up, it would just be a bunch of raptors going, "Fuck this shit! I'm done with this."
Yeah.
Clarence
The
pulls up
Triceratops
the
is
little
huge.
thing. Well, yeah, because I figured the Triceratops is going to the forest, having a good time.
I'd want him to be free.
Okay.
How big is he though?
He is size huge.
Huge. Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure he ain't fitting on the boat.
No. He would, but
We could
at
polymorph
the
him
cost
smaller.
of others.
I could just pull it more from a little smaller.
So, how close is the Queen of Feathers currently to us?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. Yeah. It's a 14.
With a 14, judging by the reverberations you can now see in the river itself, she's probably a few hundred feet and getting closer. And you hear a roar kind of shout out that even at this distance, you can tell she is getting closer. You can see the light of the bonfire far away, and a little bit of lightning crackles as you see her silhouette cast as she is now running towards all of you. You can now notice the lightning is crackling in her teeth. So she is giving off that light as she is running.
Soren yells up to Mochi, "We gotta go!"
I am trying. Do we have everyone?
Yep, everyone's here.
Yeah, Captain Fairweather jumps up next to the captain's wheel with you. Everybody that matters, onward!
Everybody that matters.
All sails!
Sure. Look. I'll roll for insight later. Right now, we actually do have to go. So Mochi's just looking at Betty for more signaling. Where are we going that way? That way? Okay. Going.
And the sails are all just fully opened, and the ship lurches forward just as this massive dinosaur lunges out from beyond the camp, and she jumps into the water behind you. It's up to her hips. She is chomping at the back end, but your ship is just too fast as this wind seems to catch it from behind. And before long, you have left her roaring in vain in the distance. Wonderful job, everybody.
Argus, do you have eyes on Lorelei?
Do I have eyes on Lorelei? Or are they just next to me?
Does anybody ever
She's
have
been
eyes
there
Does
on
the whole
anybody
time.
ever have eyes on
It's
Lorelei?
nobody ever has
Yeah.
eyes on me.
He's just gonna
Exactly.
all Argus is gonna do is just gonna point to his left, and they're gonna be there. He doesn't even know if she's there. He just points that in that way to see if
You hear over
right.
your right side, other side.
I'll get it. It's fine.
You will.
I'm fine. It's fine. Yeah. It's 50 for the
Okay.
shot.
So is anyone who actually knows how to drive this thing going to relieve me of panic mode? Because I'm just going, and I don't know if this is correct. We're just going.
No, you're doing a great job. In fact, sailing by panic mode is how I do it most of the time.
Perfect. Right.
Yes,
Great.
The adrenaline makes you more aware of everything.
Captain,
Fear.
drive!
This is your boat!
Exactly. Fear, it opens the eyes, it expands the senses. I'm aware of everything around me all the time.
For the last little bit of time that Petunia has, I'm gonna have her pick him up and drop him next to the steering wheel.
To the wheel.
Do your job.
All right. Strong suggestions. All right.
There you go.
We're white knuckling it.
I mean, if you need more panic, I can scare you.
Pointing at the dinosaur in the distance.
This is not enough.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
not
need
enough.
more. Thank you.
Oh, good. Just checking.
Okay. You continue through the night. Is there anything any of you wanted to do now back on the ship? You have Ferdinand. He has a dinosaur. You have say you have 8 bandits that came along.
I mean, I just want to be there when Argus takes Ferdinand back in hand. I'm trying so hard not to do 800 double entendres right now.
I think I think Clarence has lined up all of the bandits, and then is strutting in front of them back and forth, and is and this is why joining the mercenaries is gonna be way better for you than being bandits, okay? Do you remember how hungry you were? They're not hungry on the mountain because King Argus supports them and makes sure that they get what they need. And Clarence is just like singing the praises of King Argus, King of the Mountain, like going like back and forth at these bandits, like lecturing them.
Hey,
Make an
I was
example
gonna
of
get
them,
those for
Clarence.
half. Well, they can do both.
You can be a religious bandit.
They can
Yeah.
be religious bandits.
Those are dangerous.
I mean, otherwise, I can just prepare more geese over the coming weeks. It'll be fine.
That can't be good for the mind.
Yeah, there's that.
It can't be good for the mentality. It's gotta be frying some cells.
I think geese doesn't fry the cells as much as modify memory does, which I also have
Fair.
now.
Yeah.
Those are both really bad cells to be burning.
Yeah, I do think that if you're like casting charm person on the same person over and over, like it's gonna have some long term effects. I'm not sure the studies are out yet, but
This
yeah.
was just one little geese. Who's talking about over
That's
and
a wizard.
over?
That's a wizard citation or dissertation I would read.
Absolutely. Yeah, medical papers on the frequent use of modified memory.
I'd love to do a PhD in like the D&D world.
Dragons, reptiles, birds, insects. Mochi, I'm sorry, not Mochi. Clarence, you do hear a very familiar voice as your skull does speak to you. You know, Clarence, back in my day, you would make an example out of failure like this, but we called it decimation. It's where we killed every 10th individual, but there's only 8 of them, so I suppose don't mess with the math that much.
Well, yeah, but also that's how you get locked up in a school for 200 years. Versus this way, we are giving back to the community.
Right, as always, Clarence. Thank you so much for that lesson.
Well, I'm just saying, Cal. Look, the reason why we're touring the world together is so that we can A, find a new use for your magic that might actually suit the world and could help the world now, and B, so that you have the world to experience now and you're not just holed up alone all by yourself, because that's not how we learn.
Fair enough, Clarence. If there's ever an application of my magic you think would be helpful, do please let me know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a group effort, Cal. It's a group effort.
Yes, teamwork and the dream work and all that. Okay. So it is night. The rains continue. The storm above continues as well, and not like that drizzle. Like this is a heavy thunderstorm, and it has been for some time. I mean, I think ever since you really began to reach the outer borders of the Tangle Wild, and get down past the Stormspire Mountains. There's been this very like you haven't seen the stars. You've barely seen the sun. It's been just this heavy storm. Um, it's different even than like, oh, it's storm season out in the water, which is where you met the wake worms. It's even different than that. This is, I don't know, there's a strangeness to how black the sky is with these clouds. Um, but nevertheless, your ship continues on. Captain Fairweather eventually handing things over to his first mate Ripper and going into his captain's quarters, and eventually the adrenaline of your dash to the ship wears off, and you all find yourselves. I'm not going to tell you whether you are or not, but likely find yourselves getting a little bit tired after that. Um, you know the ship will continue to navigate the river with your new crew seemingly on board. Actually, Clarence, with all of that, go ahead and roll me a persuasion check with your convincing.
Of the bandits.
Mhm.
Okay. That's a 16.
Fantastic. Okay. the bandits seem rather won over, especially seeing that their own leader seems to be pretty on board. Because chaos is one of those things where it's pretty convincing. It's one of those all-encompassing kind of charms where the person doesn't appear to have totally changed their personality, but seems to be more on board with a different way of thinking. Um, cool. Okay. Any last things anybody wanted to do before the night ends? Great. Well, then the night does go on, and it does end all of you getting your long rests respectfully, and also leveling up. You do not have to do so this second, but you can absolutely do so over break or next episode. I know some of you may be using pencil and paper, and that might be hard to do on the fly. But that absolutely dealing with the Queen of Feathers, I think, is a leveling up sort of occurrence. Okay. Let's see here. So, uh, your travel continues, and it is fairly uneventful. You seem to have gotten to the midway point with the bandit camp, and it is only a short while later, seemingly, that it takes you to reach the other delta of this river to reach out to, and I will move you all back to the maps. You can see where you are right there. There we go. So you have crossed past the. I'm sorry, it was Stormcrag Mountains. I said Stormspire earlier. You have crossed just below the Stormcrag Mountains and have made your way out into the inner Spell Sea. This gulf between the Tangle Wilds and the Stormcrag. Let's see if I can get you an icon. Oh, we do have an icon. It's just very dark. So you all are just right about there. So you know that your pathway to Halara is a much swifter one now, as the winds seem to kind of collect in this Gulf area and propel you ever forward. Your travel should only take about another week ish. Um, is there anything any of you would like to do in that week?
Christian, you're muted.
I would like to ask Ferdinand if he had ever had any contact with um, the pirate king at all, if at all at any time.
This is Pirate King Blackbones. Is that who we're talking about?
Mm.
I seem to recall him reaching out once I severed ties with you and your family. Um, doesn't seem to be one under the claw of another mad bird. No offense. So I told him where he could shove it and went about my own way. Never seemed to have any issues besides that. Just want to do my own thing.
Your own thing resulted in you sacrificing people to a giant dinosaur.
I ended up under the claw of another thing anyway, and it's funny how life will put you in situations like that, but
Mm.
here we are once again. I find myself in your service, and seems like life is rather cyclical in a sort of way.
Well, here's
Why
hoping
do
the
you
next 30 days are amicable.
29.
I get the sense that if I were to be less than amicable, it would be rather painful for
Mm.
me. So let's consider these less than 30,
Mm.
29 days to be a sort of truce. You don't actively put me into danger, and I won't try to take your head in the night.
You can try.
Although, of course. But if you do want to settle things before that time and not risk it, I'm always happy to establish who the biggest bird really is.
I will be clear, I never wanted to fight you. I wanted to peacefully pass. Because I'm learning that to be king, you have to make room for both. And I have more important things to fight than this old rivalry we have. Though I respect it, I do not have time for it. And I respect your decision to leave. That was your decision, Ferdinand. I am not a king who keeps those captive in a cage. That's not the kind of bird I am or want to be. And if you want to be king, you need some work, because that, you, two guards, really? To guard us? To guard me? That's insulting. You know that.
Indeed. I admittedly had some staffing issues after the Queen of Feathers ate a significant portion of my force. In all honesty, Argus, I had hoped that you would break out. I think the biggest difference between you and me, besides the respect and the honor and the right to rule and all that nonsense, is I always wanted to fight you. I wanted your blood on my hands. I wanted to take you down a notch. I wanted to feel better than you. So maybe I'll never be king if that's what I really want. And it might be the spell talking, but maybe that's a good thing. Seems I was pretty shite at it when it came down to it.
We both need work.
Well, I seem to be feeling some things I've never felt before. It feels like, I think, what they call regret, maybe? So I'm going to go find the bosun and sharpen my axe. It always makes me feel better.
Go ahead.
And like he bows to you, and there's definitely this point of like, oh, I don't want to do this, but like just this twinge of psychic damage. You can see like crossing his eyes, and he does it anyway. My
Like we have a spasm in your back. You're like, oh, God,
yeah,
I
you see
gotta,
like the
I
anime vein popping in his like side of his head.
gotta-
Okay.
Move
Um,
on.
anyone else?
I am curious if Betty might be able to take the week to work on her Sunder Sludge net and make
Mhm.
it a size bigger.
Okay. Yeah. I really like that. Let's. This might be. I think this will be okay for. That's
I
good
don't.
pirate travel music.
Yeah.
Okay. Um.
I don't
Okay.
think I want to change anything else about it. Like I don't think that
Yeah,
it
you've
needs to have
encountered
like
some big
increased.
things,
Yeah.
and you definitely want a bigger net. Um, a few ways you could probably go about this. Uh, is there any way that's kind of sticking out to you?
I mean, honestly, Betty, we know how to weave nets, so I kind of pictured her just like hanging out on the deck underneath one of the masts, just making the net bigger, just kind of like tying the knots, watching everybody else do whatever it is that they're doing.
Okay. I really like that. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
Okay. Probably not the strongest skill, but that's okay. That's all right.
If you want, Mochi can
Oh.
help you.
I
She has
actually
no.
got 21.
Nice.
Fantastic. Okay. Your net is strong. Actually, if you want to put that, I don't necessarily, I can't remember what the language is on it, but Any creatures will have disadvantage on
Oh,
breaking it.
okay.
Um, you do notice that, like as you're extending the net, the ooze isn't necessarily extending with it. It's trying. And at one point, as you're kind of working on the deck, and sailors are like stepping around it so they don't step in this acidic ooze and everything. Um, the medic, Dr. Ulysses Trench, this um, pangolin-esque hedge, comes walking up to you with these big claws. Ah, it would seem that your friend there is very hungry.
Indeed.
Their claws together.
Indeed.
Do you need something to feed it?
Uh, do you do you have a container big enough that we can store it in? I mean, that's all it needs. Is it needs a home. It needs to stay in a gallon-sized jar.
Oh, I have many gallon-sized jars. You wouldn't believe how handy they come for medical professionals such as I.
That would be fantastic.
I will fetch one. And
Thank
a
you.
few things for to snack on. I'm a particular fan of slimes and oozes.
Interesting.
my, my dream job that I never really got to do, being aboard this ship, but I always wanted to work in the slime caverns back in the greater Humblewood area, where they produce slime such as this.
This is Betty's face. She's just like, yeah, that sounds awful, but like, oh, okay.
The cultivation process is absolutely incredible, and the productive or reproductive processes are very fascinating as well.
Don't they just like
You have to smush them together, but then absolutely the sort of osmosis, and then they do actually make that sound.
oh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yes. Slime husbandry is a very it's a careful process.
I can imagine so. That jar?
Yes, on my way.
Thank you. God, all I can think
And-
of is slime rancher.
And he scuttles under the deck and comes back up with a gallon jar that is also full of like rusty like cooking utensils and like broken pieces of glass and just a bunch of like inorganic material that he's kind of just like stuffed in there. I think you would find it very appetizing.
Thank you. And I think as Betty finishes expanding the net, she kind of does her best to stuff it in the jar and seals it up. The information about the net says that it has to sit in a jar, a container large enough to hold 1 gallon of liquid for 12 hours, and then the net is repaired. So maybe that kind of helps it expand along the new size of the net.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Love that.
cool.
Yes, let me know. I have many books on handling these sort of things, and I also brought these. They're a pair of gloves that allow you to handle this sort of thing without feeling the sting, as it were.
Oh, thank you.
They're just like a pair of like insulated gloves,
Yeah.
leather gloves.
And I think like as he kind of wanders off, but he kind of like looks at the gloves and then turns to everybody else and is like, does anybody think they're going to be touching my net anytime soon? Because it doesn't affect her. It affects anybody else who touches it, but not her. The net's pretty sweet.
All the sailors are just like, yeah, please, no,
We're like
no.
super good. Okay, well, we'll just tuck them in our bag. Whatever.
Good. All right, Clarence, where would you be in this last stage of the voyage?
I think Clarence is spending a lot of time by themselves and kind of like doing like that wistful, like looking out at the horizon and like that kind of stuff. With like a pad and like a type of writing utensil in the other hand, as if like they were writing like a new like ballad or something.
Interesting. Okay. What's your ballad about?
Um, it's about their current journey. Where they started, and it was stormy with the wake worms, and they kept getting messages and from the pirate king, but they weren't gonna let that slow them down. And then they came here, and there was like giant monsters that they fought off single-handedly, and also um, showed some bandits, like the brighter side of life and the way that they can live, and not be evil. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Um, you hear as you're writing this, you hear a voice just come from like behind you. I saw what you did back there when everyone was boarding the ships.
I mean, let
Uh,
people onto the ship.
well, not all of them. Yes. If you did not make it,
I mean, I would say more than a few bandits did not make it.
you are being silly, Clarence. I appreciate this for someone who obfuscates their. Well, I'm not going to call it they're wrong. I'm not sure that I am right to judge you for this or that. Just letting you know that I am aware and wary of you.
Oh, is that supposed to be a compliment? I think that's a compliment coming from you.
Could be.
Okay. Well, do you wanna do 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 you wanna talk to Cal?
No, no, I do not need to speak to dead things. They tend to tell me things that I do not like.
Oh, is that because you killed them?
Because of what?
Because you killed them?
Often,
Oh,
not always.
oh.
I have never found that the dead have good messages for the living. When they speak to us, they seem to have selfish intent.
Hmm. Do you think that's because like they didn't live life to the fullest and now they're kind of full of regret?
Amongst other things, yes, regret.
Oh, yeah. Do you think it's because they're jealous of us? Because we're alive and they're not?
Life is for the living.
That's fair. But do you think that they're like when you're dead? Do you think like there's other adventures you can go on, like not in this world?
No,
Oh,
but the great rhythm keeps on humming, yes? And
mm.
we must all play our parts.
Well, yeah. In order to make the best rhythm, the whole band has to work together, and sometimes you play opposing parts, but it still is for the benefit for the overall masterpiece.
I'm glad we understand each other then, Clarence. I wanted you to be aware that if you ever get too off key, I don't think you'll be allowed in the band anymore.
Hmm. Could always just start my own band, but who's gonna make sure that you don't get off key?
I suppose that would be you then, Clarence.
So, so we have each other's backs.
A let's keep each other where we can see each other. Yes?
So each other's friends.
You can have whatever part of me you can see, Clarence.
Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to walk away now. I have nothing else
Okay.
vaguely threatening to say. Okay.
Oh. Okay, well, it was great. It was great having this moment with you. I think you're really cool and scary.
Like shutting the door.
Bye.
Okay, but seriously though, I do want to know, does Clarence remember what happened on the boat? Or is it like obfuscated behind some weird necromantic demi-lich haze that we just don't understand? Like, just as a player, not as the character, obviously, because I don't know
Sure.
what happened. But
So what I will say from my point, Clarence would have seen himself do that, but also would not have like not have acted that out. It's like watching yourself do something through your own eyes. So maybe Clarence has written it off as like just exhaustion, or something that didn't happen. Clarence doesn't remember the literal muscle movements it took to do that. So I leave that to Shadow. But Clarence would have seen himself do it. There's no like magic that is preventing that memory.
got it.
Yeah. No, I think he's totally aware of what happened, but also knows that if it didn't happen, like they weren't like they were hurting, you know? So I think it's like kind of like Clarence sees it as like a trade of like necessity, right? Of like, all right, well, also we were killing bandits anyway. So two more, you know, dead bandits, and then Clarence
Okay.
feels better. But also knows that it wasn't like them who did it, you know, like Clarence
is
didn't do
rolling
it.
down the slippery slope. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Clarence is snowboarding down the slope.
I was gonna say, like Clarence borrowed Mochi's bodyboard, tail up, down the mountain.
Yeah. But also, you know, it didn't happen to Soren. It didn't happen to like all of the other people of the party that Clarence touched. It just happened to some bandits that arguably they were probably going to kill anyway if things went slightly differently.
Wonderful. Okay. Your travels continue. The ship moving ever onward, cutting at a clipping pace through the water now. The storm wind seems to urge you ever forward as the rain continues to patter down. The waves crash all around, and yet your schooner continues on. It seems to manage well. The sailors, feeling a little tossed around. But Captain Fairweather, continues his wide-eyed stare forward as the ship navigates these choppy waters. Perhaps a little less choppy that you are within a gulf that doesn't have as much outward activity imposed upon it. Still, you continue on and begin to see, like, if you were to look maybe through a spyglass, you'd be able to see that you're never that far from land. Probably a little too far to swim, but it's as you begin to crest around the northern horn of the Tanga Wilds that you realize that you are getting closer and closer to your goal. Um,
Can
go
Mochi
please.
find Soren?
For sure. Where will
Soren,
we find Soren?
what you doing?
You would find Soren having a full-blown conversation with the Clawfoot.
Perfect.
Just deep in talk.
Oh.
Oh, hi Mochi.
Hello. I did not mean to disturb your conversation.
No, you're fine.
I had some questions.
I might have answers. What's going on?
Well, they're about where you're from and this place, so I hope so.
Mm.
did you get like the basic itinerary for the honeymoon for Argus and his wife done yet? Do you have like plans? Because we were gonna send him on this like cool honeymoon thing as soon as he's finished tying the Pirate King to an anchor and dropping him in the ocean.
Soren kind of like goes bug-eyed real quick. He's like, "Oh shit!" And
You forgot?
Yep. No, I didn't forget.
You got distracted by dinosaurs?
We almost got eaten, Mochi.
That was like days ago at this point, Soren. You gotta get out over these things real fast or they leave you behind. Anyway, it doesn't have to be now. Other questions now then first. Do you think, and we'll talk about it, that we don't even have her yet. Is the weather always this terrible, and can you also usually never see the sun or the stars? Because I don't like not being able to see the stars at this point.
So it's not normally like this. You know how you guys had like that terrible winter thing?
Yes, it was 5/8 of my life.
That's a long time.
Yeah, tell me about
That's
it.
a very long time.
Why do you think my fur looks like this right now?
I thought you were just shedding.
It's yes, I'm shedding 5 years worth of fur.
I'm sorry. He's like I just molts a little bit. Like I just
like
shed the
while
scales.
Mochi is finishing that sentence, she's like reaches into her armor, grabs a handful of fur, and just lets it go into the wind. Yeah, I know.
So yeah, it's kind of like messed up our entire ecosystem. It makes
when
clouds
did
are
it
stupid.
start?
Hey Derek, when did it start?
So it was about 5 years of winter for the Humblewood. Your issues began probably about 3-ish years ago.
Okay. It's about 3 years.
Okay. And we're taking the thing we're carrying that isn't a skull to a temple near where you're from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does the temple have like a receptacle where this is supposed to go, or are we just putting it in a...
So from what I've been told is that the temple is kind of old and like a little broken. So we've actually never seen where that's supposed to go. We just know it's supposed to go there.
Okay. How do you know it's supposed to go there?
And you see him like tap his chin and he's just like, well, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you this or not, but so the reason why I'm kind of scared of my sister is because she kind of has like these visions from Gebo, who is like our starry person, and they kind of just
Gebo?
talk. Gebo. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we don't learn about Gebo.
I didn't know about any of yours until you guys started telling me. I didn't know Hath was a thing until I met you.
Isn't that weird if they're like supposedly all up in the night sky and stuff?
Yeah, but I think it's because like where each of us are from, it's like, oh well, we only talk about ours and we don't talk about other people's.
That's weird.
I think so. We don't really get many and he kind of like looks down a little bit. We don't get many Maypacks out where I'm from, so we don't really know much. It's hot.
I get that, but if half is supposed to be like void and darkness and night, and where you live, you still have darkness and night and stars and sneaky things, then half could still be a goddess of darkness and night and sneaky things. I have many followers. Half nowadays has lots more followers who aren't Maypacks. You don't have to be a Maypack to follow half. So why wouldn't she already have people where you live? Or maybe she just goes by a different name, but it is still her.
That's a possibility. I know that they do that in other places too, or I've read it in books.
I mean, Argus is like 9 names at this point.
Yeah, that's a lot. Also,
So maybe it's half but not half. Or it's not half, but then why wouldn't she be there? And does she want me to get her followers there or not? Because it's like, oh no, I don't like that place, don't get me any people. Or is it like, oh my god,
Hey,
wait,
okay.
oh my me. Maybe I need to like expand further?
Wait, what do you mean by oh my me?
Well, I was talking as Hath. You know, if Hath is talking to herself about wanting followers in where you live, or not at all, because maybe your people were rude to her like 500 years ago.
Wait, hold.
Or maybe she's like, nah, I don't want like where it's really warm. But like, does that mean I shouldn't be recruiting if she doesn't already have people?
I would say don't recruit here. Just it doesn't tend to go well when people he kind of like trails off a little bit and leans in. I think a good chunk of the people of the other Tilias, it might be a cult.
Yeah. How can you tell?
The same way you're questioning about like, oh well, why have I never heard of anybody else? We've got a lot more of gods, but whenever I try to talk about them, they don't want to hear it.
Huh? Because I've talked to Hath, and she didn't seem to mind me asking all kinds of questions.
Yeah, it's not the gods, it's the ones who who speak to the gods or say they do. Like my sister.
Wait. Is your sister in a cult?
Soren does not say anything. It just looks at the ground and just like kind of kicks his foot a little bit.
Is she at least high up in the cult?
She's like a high priestess.
Hey, same. I mean, without the cult part.
You've wanted to build a cult.
Nuh-uh, I'm just helping Hath spread her faith.
Yeah.
Cults seem like a lot of hard work, because then you have to do all the infrastructure yourself.
Or you get people to do it. Or you get like old people to do it.
I don't know that many old people.
He's like, well, you're dead, but...
Rude. My dad's older than... No, wait, that's not even true. My dad's younger than Argus. My dad's younger than Clarence.
What?
Clarence is old. 60 or something. And my dad's like, I don't know, 18?
Thorin's mouth drops, and he's like, picks it up. I am so sorry. I did not mean to call your father old. I did not know that Clarence was 60.
Well, something like that. He had like a big milestone birthday recently. It was like something, and then he's in 0, and he's way older than you think they are.
They carry it well.
I know. I think it's the youthful exterior that's masking like their inner wisdom.
Or it's the skull, maybe.
Yeah, it might also be the skull.
Yeah. Speaking of, I don't know if it's because we had just got hit by lightning or whatever Grandmama T-Rex was shooting at us, but when Clarence fainted and they started talking to me, it didn't sound like Clarence. It's kind of weird.
Why did Clarence shoot back at the T-Rex after we just spent like 10 minutes setting up a pirate merchant banded hors d'oeuvre platter?
I don't know. I was trying to figure that out too. And I wanted to ask them, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared of them right now.
I get that because I still remember when they were making a band and it was suddenly all skeletal, and then Clarence sometimes now also looks super, super freaky and everybody's scared of them. And that wasn't always. face. That sometimes they just look dreadful.
Yeah, it's a terrible aspect.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think I Okay, so in our previous adventure, we had another friend, and she made this deal with something that wasn't necessarily good for her, but appeared to be helpful, but ended up with like a giant ball of scroll fire. And I'm just worried that Clarence is doing something similar, but with like, I don't know if it's.
have you
What if?
asked Hath?
No. Because because I just cast like a spell on Ferdinand, right, to make him more helpful.
That's what that
What
is?
if? Yes. What if the skull casts something similar on Clarence to make Clarence like, well, not more helpful, but more helpful to the skull? What if what if what if what if the skull geased Clarence? Because if I can Geas, the skull can Geas. Because that thing was like a mastermind super wizard 200 years ago.
You are blowing this small little Tilia's brain, and he is just sitting here like, the skull geist Clarence.
Might have. Moji's about to break out the pin chart and the red string.
Okay, if the skull did geist Clarence,
Yes.
that would explain why they shot back at Grandma. Because that makes no sense.
But Geas doesn't make you a skeleton.
No, it doesn't. Wait.
Or whatever that dread form thing is.
What if the skull is trying to get Clarence to be more skeletal so he could take over Clarence?
Clarence already has a skull.
Yeah, but the inside of the skull wants to be inside of Clarence.
Ew.
Not like that.
I get what you're saying. I'm just upset.
I get it. I'm sorry. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we're both wrong, and that
Well, if
Clarence
it's
is just having a phase.
yes. I just wanted to ask about the weather.
I know. Listen, I've been trying to figure that out for the past couple of days, and I've been spiraling by myself, okay?
Oh, great. So now I have to spiral with you?
Yes.
That's fair, actually.
I've been told it's better to spiral together. It's fun. It's more fun this way.
I'm not having fun, but
Me neither. I was lied to.
okay. So, but the skull thing.
Mm-hmm.
It probably isn't like back to full power because then it wouldn't need Clarence. It would just take over the world again.
Again.
Like it tried. They tried. So
why does Clarence have this if it tried to take over the world? Why didn't we?
He thinks he can fix him.
Clarence is the strongest of us all.
That is a word for it. Some of us might use the word delusional, but Clarence is my friend, so I won't. But if Scully isn't full strength, like say they're like at, I don't want to say they're at my level because they're probably still stronger than I am. But if it's a Geas, I can try to break it on Clarence. Give it a go.
Maybe.
It's one of my fancy spells, so we have to do it before we get to land. Because then I have to like nap for 8 hours again. And eat grapes. And have someone fan me. Because I'm dying. It's so hot here.
And he casts like a small like gust for you.
Oh, thank you.
Could you teach me Gaius?
I don't No, I've never tried to teach anyone anything. They always told me I was too dumb to learn, so I didn't like try to get to teaching.
I would love to learn if you would,
You can try.
because maybe if we both try it, maybe then we can.
No,
Two
but
heads is better than one.
breaking it is greater restoration, and lots of people can do greater
Oh,
restoration.
I can do that.
See?
Yeah.
Well, or like wish, but I'm not that cool.
I've heard terrible things about Wish.
I heard great things about Wish. Some of my favorite stories are people who get Wish.
Oh, maybe we need to share stories, and then they just have like a little
Yeah,
like a little moment.
completely off track again.
Completely off track.
Focus level? None.
0. Squirrel brain, babes.
Yep.
As Soren and Mochi continue their spaghetti conversation, which is what I call it when you hit a meatball, but then continue through other strands of spaghetti. Clarence, give me a wisdom save.
Okay, it's casual. Got a lot of these this time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's 17.
Great. Okay. You heard most of that. As if it was coming from the next room over.
Oh, but they're not the next room over?
No.
Oh.
No, you basically heard your friends talking behind your back, as if they didn't even realize that you were there. In fact, the weird things that you didn't hear is when Mochi would say, the stuff you would hear is, I think Clarence is misguided, or maybe like, doesn't know what he's doing, but then it would kind of muffle out but Clarence is my friend, so, but that's.
Okay, I'm hearing an edited conversation.
A little bit.
Okay.
Anyway, that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break. So when we come back, we will finally get to the Tangle Wilds proper, the capital of Halara, and the bustling empire of the Alluran people. Stick around, folks. We also have our giveaway that's going to start here at break. We were doing a giveaway for a pin from Fauna and Flora International, as well as a hoodie, essentially a code for a hoodie that will get you 45 pounds sterling off of anything in the Fauna and Flora shop. We have some really great stuff. It does cover essentially the cost of a hoodie plus shipping, so that's why they kind of code it that way. Do make sure that we can contact you if you are the winner. We're basically going to draw 2 names from the same giveaway. But yeah, please make sure we can contact. As far as the code goes, I'm happy to give that away to the winner as soon as they win. As far as the pins go, that might be towards the end of, once we get all 5 names drawn. So that way I can send all of your contact information in bulk, or have it mailed to me and then, mail it to you all respectively, depending on where you live. All of that said, we are in support of Fauna and Flora International. Your donations go towards a great cause, so please consider continuing to donate, and we'll be back in about 10 to 15. Ahoy, Avast, and Tail, and well met, humble friends. Welcome back to Humblewood Yonderbound, the season 2 of Humblewood here on Sword and Key. Our party has made quite some headway in their many episodes here, finding old enemies and making them somewhat magically new friends, encountering great beasts of land, sea, and air, and have finally navigated their way towards the inner Song Sea, this gulf of the Tangle Wild. It is only a short distance away before they finally reach the capital of Halara, the capital of the Alluran Empire, and thus the beginning of stage 2 of, or perhaps 3, maybe, of their journey as they finally journey into the Tangle Wilds themselves, to set right a great imbalance to the great rhythm that controls all things, the great rhythm of life and death. So, you guys have, you humble friends, humble heroes, have only a couple of days left before the end of your journey. You're starting to see as you are cresting around the horn, the northern horn of the Tangle Wilds, that it is only a short distance uh, away from land at this point, and you can see mountains cresting far off in the distance when the weather breaks just enough, or lightning strikes in just the right way, and you can like smell that really dense humidity coming off of the jungles themselves. You might even see some other boats around here. Nothing so grand as your three-masted ship, and maybe some smaller fishing ships that might wave to you as you cut through the water. Is there anything any of you would like to do as you near your this next part of your journey?
I would like to use magic.
I love the specificity. Please use magic.
Thank you. No, we're gonna behave or change ish, kind of, sort of. Don't I? Oh
Okay.
God, I see all of your faces. Nobody believes me when I say this. Mochi would just like to go up on deck sometime at night because we all know dusk, night, dawn, all great. Uh, and she would like to cast commune,
Okay.
where she gets to ask 3 yes or no questions to her deity.
Okay. I really like that. Just a moment here. Um, so yes, commune. Can you read me the language for that?
Yes. You contact your deity or a divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions that can be answered with a yes or a no. You must ask your questions before the spell ends. You receive a correct answer for each question. Divine beings aren't necessarily omniscient, so you might receive unclear as an answer if a question pertains to information that lies beyond the deity's knowledge. In a case where one word answer could be misleading or contrary to the deity's interests, the DM might offer a short phrase as an answer instead. If you cast the spell 2 or more times before finishing a long rest, there is a cumulative 25% chance for each casting after the first that you get no answer.
Fair enough. Okay. So yes or no, unless a short answer is more clear. Fair enough.
Yes.
Um, ask away.
Dear Hath, is this weather weirdness only because of our artifact?
Wow. Right off the bat, might need a short answer for that one.
I was planning in break.
Partially, yes. Not entirely, no.
It's what I was thinking. Um, Dear Hath, is Clarence acting entirely of their own accord and free will?
Right now, yes. Previously, not as much.
Dear Hath, am I in a cult?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I have. Thank you. Love you. Bye. Miss you.
If Hath could expand more, but in like the ancient Greek sort of way, not like in the modern way, where like a cult just means like a branch off of a greater pantheon. It's like you'd be considered in a cult if you prayed to Pan instead of just going to Zeus every time.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, trickster god. Every time I ask Hath anything, I'm like, eh, you know, technically the truth is also the truth.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on. And then I don't like the 25% fail chance. As wait, we have to make some money. I need money for spell components. Is what I'm feeling right now.
I have money.
No,
I have some money. Do you need a loan?
Do you have 1,000?
Oh, no.
Because apparently I need
Oh,
1,000.
Oh, you meant like real money. Got
Yeah,
it.
you-
I mean like money.
Got it.
I have a couple
Yeah.
coins.
I have almost 100.
I have rocks.
I have almost 100, but there's that extra 0 that keeps getting away from me somehow.
I can. Clarence can perform. A nice show.
I don't think I don't think we have 1,000 GP on this vessel cumulatively.
No.
However, if Mochi is absolutely willing to be like your manager once we set up your multi-venue tour in Halara.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's our cover story. Sorry.
Shh. Don't let them know. Okay, one more spell before bed. Oh, this is the dumbest thing. Hi, Killer Queen. We escaped. Kinda. Still on the way to you. Question. Are you a brunch person?
Just the contemplation of.
I just love everything I've made Derek's face do these last 2 weeks.
I also love the idea of a person captive, probably asleep, who's awakened again. Just like, are you a brunch person? It's like,
I started with good news. I'm letting her know her husband's okay. And then I have questions.
I'm glad you all are free and it sounds like safe. I'm trying to be quiet about talking to you because it's getting suspicious at this point. Brunch is fine. It's just okay. I wasn't counting words on that, but that's...
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Mochi goes from brunch is fine, like, to it's just okay, to like, gotta think of something else. Okay, this time, just, like, I don't know if humming works with this spell. Hum twice if you like high tea.
Mm-hmm. Does those count as words?
Okay. More spell slots. Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Tea's great.
Tea's great. Taking notes.
Is this going to help me get free, or is this a code?
So we're starting on the 4th level spells now. Look, I'm going to bed after this. This is for after you're free. Because the free part, we've already got it covered. It's going to be great. We're going to tie someone to an anchor and drown them.
Okay. I like that part of what is hopefully a much greater detailed plan. Please focus.
No, see, the spell focus I need is 1,000 GP, so that's where this all goes wrong.
You're saying that just to yourself at this point.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That was a lot of sendings. God. What is...
Really putting those the spell slots to good use.
Look, if you go to bed without casting spells, you've wasted those spell slots for the day. And at some point, your god's just not going to give them to you anymore if you keep wasting them. It's like not finishing your budget at the end of the year. You can't save them.
Just like, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like
you can't.
HSA roll over. You know, you gotta.
Yeah, they don't roll over.
Yeah.
Okay. Mochi's gonna like go to bed clutching her little notebook and her little pauses.
Fantastic.
No, actually, she's gonna stop by Soren. Shake Soren awake.
Okay.
Soren. Okay.
Yes.
Re our previous conversation.
Yes.
two things.
Uh-huh.
Clarence is in fact not always acting entirely of their own free will. Not always, but sometimes. So the just sharing. And also, please don't be scared of me.
Why would I be scared
I'm
of you?
really not. I'm also in a cult. I just checked.
Oh, I'm not scared of. I'm not scared of you, Mochi. I'm also not scared of my sister. It's not because of the cult thing why I'm scared of her.
Okay.
I'm glad you checked. I'm glad you know now.
I'm gonna make this the best cult ever.
He's like, okay.
Just wanted to share. And she like tucks you in. Here you go.
Where's Argus?
Huh?
Where's Argus?
Oh, I should talk to him about talking to his wife. Good point. Good point. No, thank you, God, I forgot. And she's like tucked you in real tight. And she's gonna...
I was gonna ask him honeymoon questions.
Oh, not brunch, but yes to high tea. Tea is good. Tea is good. Brunch is just okay.
Soren don't know what none of that. Brunch, yes. High tea doesn't. Okay. And he's like stuck in his cocoon, so he's like, I can't breathe.
Oh, she'll like lift her like slightly. There you go. I just wanted you to be snug and comfy.
Thank you.
Okay. God, I forgot about Argus. How did I forget about? Is Argus asleep?
Is this like the day before we get
It's
there?
like 4 a.m.
Oh, it's probably, if it's not his turn to watch, he is probably asleep. So hold on. I will roll.
Mochi isn't that into being awake during the day. That is something she does so she can hang out with you guys.
Honestly,
but it's not her preference.
Again, an owl, so he would probably be up. So you'd probably be up on the deck watching.
Okay.
Just looking in the direction of where we're going.
Mochi sort of pops up behind you and goes, Argus!
Is everything okay?
Yeah, no, good. Ooh. Oh, that is a broad question. I was checking. So technically, I came here to tell you that I talked to Killer Queen, and she's great. She's fine. I shouldn't send her this often because it's getting suspicious that she keeps talking to herself. So we tried humming, and humming works. So that was nice. And she hopes that we have slightly more of a plan than just tying someone to an anchor and dropping them in the water. And I told her, don't worry, got it covered. It's gonna be great. But I also did some chatting to Hath. Who is the leader of my religion?
Right. Yes.
As you know.
Gather that. Yes.
Yes.
Your God.
So, yes. Oh, goddess. I don't even know how that works.
That's very impressive. One, that you're able to
gender
talk.
stars as wild. Yes. Talk to Hath. Brief. Yes. No questions.
So impressive.
The weird weather that we're having here isn't just because of what we're carrying. So there's something extra.
Of course. Always something extra.
Yeah, always something extra. And also, Clarence isn't always okay.
Is it the skull?
I didn't specifically ask if it was the skull because I didn't know if Hath could tell me, but I asked if Clarence was acting entirely of their own free will, and they are now, but they're not always.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to talk to Clarence.
Yes.
That's a slippery slope I don't want to go down again.
I don't want Clarence to turn into a great big ball of fire and explode.
We will make sure that does not happen.
Or any other kind of ball of energy that explodes. Or become a skeleton and wither away and rot and die. I need Clarence to be okay. I don't like it here anymore.
There's a moment seeing like all of the problems and all of the worries and sadness coming out of Mochi, and they just haven't talked about it, and now it's just coming out. And it's like, and Argus just like puts his hand on top of your head. Your concern is strong, and I think Clarence will appreciate you trying to save them from themselves. You're doing a good thing. Your worry is good. You should let it out more.
No, because if I'm not fun, he doesn't want to hang out with me.
If he doesn't want to hang out with you, that's not Clarence.
He went back to get the skull without me.
Everyone's been busy since we saved the world.
I was literally bodyboarding.
You're living life. You haven't lived life since winter ended.
I'm
So
so warm all the time.
no one is going to fault you for wanting to live. No one should fault you for wanting to be free, to do what you want. Remember that. Freedom is the most important thing in this world. And if this skull is trying to chain Clarence down to be something they're not, it is our duty to make sure that that does not happen. The fact that you know that, the fact that you are looking into it and are worried, that's important. That's good. And I'm not versed in magic, but I'm hoping brute force, if necessary, can stop this thing.
I hope so. There's a reason they put him in that vault. So a lot of things didn't work.
You're just hoping we can
If
do
we
something.
tied a skull to an anchor,
We can.
see how he likes
I'm-
the bottom of the ocean for 200 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's a solid plan. I'm down with that plan.
Argus,
Yes, Moch.
freedom is the most important thing and we shouldn't shackle people. Do I have to let Ferdinand go?
Eventually. He's got
Eventually, it's good.
he's got
I can do it.
he's
I
got
can-
a jail sentence. You've essentially
Right?
jailed him. But I've talked with him, and I'm not sure if it is the spell's influence, but he's a behind all the bandit ideologies that have been ingrained in him since birth. I see the potential of a good leader. I mean, he was able to influence an entire clan to join his side.
To
he must have
feed
been-
people to a T-Rex.
Like I said, bandit tendencies ingrained.
Mm.
Survival of the fittest means some people aren't fit.
Or you just don't live next to a T-Rex and then you don't have to pick.
Yeah, that's also picking a better spot to live.
Yeah.
Might also be. But the fact that they were able to do so quickly means they have some semblance of leadership in them. It's just
Fair.
finding a place to direct that leadership. Leaders
Okay,
need
I'll-
leaders too.
I'll keep him until the end of the month.
Mm.
And then when the gears breaks and he doesn't behave, I don't cast it again, we just kill him.
We just,
Which is also
I
technically
thought you were
freedom.
gonna say tie him to an anchor as well, and then drop
Well,
him.
maybe like a trial run for the anchor thing, but we also... there is a limited amount of anchors aboard the ship.
This is true. I mean, we can always find something really heavy.
This is true.
There's always something heavy to drop somebody off on.
I like the way you think.
Thank you. I like the way I think too.
Okay.
So do you want to talk to them together, or do you want to talk to them separately? Because I'm here.
It's so hard because if I go alone, I get distracted and worried because I want them to stay my friend, but I also don't want them to die. But if we go together, they might feel like we're ganging up on them, and I don't want them to feel like we're ganging up on them.
Do you want me to stay silent but be in the background, just in case? Be the brooding, tall individual I usually am.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Should we? Should, Soren also already knows because we kind of conspiracy theoried our way into thinking something was wrong with Clarence, which is when I went to ask Kath. But they went back to bed and he's like tucked in real good. Should we tell Betty? Because she is like with us. And I also don't want Betty to be like super surprised when things go weird. Like, but the thing is, I also don't know if Betty can tell when things go weird because she also doesn't always know what normal things look like. Because normal things also look really weird if you're not used to us.
We are a, dare I say, mess of a group.
Yes.
But I think,
and yet we saved the world.
And yet we saved the world. I think Betty would appreciate being in on the loop because the last time we didn't let people in on the loop, it was too late.
Also, I brought Betty in, so I also don't need anything to happen to Betty because I don't think I could handle that level of guilt considering how I'm handling my current level of guilt.
You're young, so you're handling the guilt of a young person, but eventually you'll find a way to process your guilt properly. For me, it was talking to Jasmine and getting their perspective and just realizing I was the dumbest motherfucker on the planet.
I've met dumber, but you were definitely up there.
I was very dumb before I met Jasmine. Now
You
I'm
had
just
some
kind of
blind
dumb.
spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm just kind of dumb.
Progress.
Yeah. See? No, you just have to find a way for you to progress.
True.
First things first.
Talk to Betty. Talk to Clarence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Come on.
I'll go find Betty. Oh, before I go find Betty, how do you feel about high tea?
I'm getting used to teas. It's not something I usually drink. It's very bitter.
But all the extras that come with high teas, like the cakes and the pies and the scones and things that
I've been to one or two meetings with other leaders and they've had them, and it's all right, I guess. It's not ironically, not my cup of tea. I'm more of a banquets and buffets kind of guy.
Huh. All right. Just checking. I'm going to go talk to Betty.
Okay. I'll be here when you want to talk to Clarence.
Oh, God, does it have to be tonight?
It should be.
It's not going to be a good night. All right.
Doesn't have to be good, just has to be productive.
I was going to cast one little spell and then everything spiraled. All right, off to Betty. Is Betty asleep?
Oh, no. No.
Oh, thank God.
You would find Betty in her bunk, and she's got this jar that's full of net.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else in the jar anymore. It's just net and liquid. And she's got her paw in the jar like you would with a jar of pickles. And she's just pushing it up and down and kind of swishing it around. And nobody's happy about the sounds that are coming out of the jar.
If Mochi walks in and hears only the sounds, Mochi would stay by the door and go
yeah, it's very slurpy. You know, when you pull
that's what I assumed.
Like a slime out of a container. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
If I can come back later if you're busy.
Huh? Does she see you? Are you poking your head around the door frame? Or
the sort of back of the head kind of thing, backing in. She doesn't want to. There's things she doesn't need to see. She's only 9, Betty.
She's still very young and impressionable. No, Mochi, it's just my net. It's just the net. Get in here. Come on. But what's going on? What's going on?
Okay. Look, I have 7 brothers. You have to check. You have to check. All right. Are you you're like in a hammock or something,
Yeah.
Mochi
Yeah.
will clamber into your hammock with you.
Oh, okay.
Little feetsies, little toes.
There's lots of like adjusting the jar
Yes.
so that it doesn't
Just
like spill
scoot in.
out on you.
Yeah, you might want to lid it.
Okay. Serious conversation then. Okay. So she puts the
Yeah,
lid
sorry.
back on the jar and sets it aside.
I've been having a lot of serious conversations, and I'm not sure I like it. But hey, here I am. You're next on the list.
There's a list.
Talk to Soren, spiraled. Talk to Hath, spiraled some more. Talked to Argus, spiraling a little less. Figured we should also talk to you. Asked Hath 3 things, 2 which are relevant to your everything. The weather weirdness that we're currently experiencing isn't just because of what we're carrying. There's like a little bonus weirdness somewhere, and I don't know what it is because I can only get yes or no answers. But the big thing is, Clarence and I go way back, and we're besties, and I love them so much. And they've been acting a little weird, and they got a little grotty and gross and skeletal and started shooting new magic at T-Rexes, even though we were already running, and I was really worried. So I asked Hath, is Clarence acting entirely of their own accord and their own free will? And Hath was like, well, yeah, not always. So we think it's the skull. The one they carry on in the bag.
Okay.
We want to go talk to Clarence about it, but we don't know how they're going to take it or how the skull's going to take it, so we figure we'd fill you in.
Well, if they're manipulating Clarence, I can't imagine that they're going to take it particularly well. But, and she kind of claps Mochi around the shoulder. You're a good friend. It's good that you're worried about them. And thank you for telling me. So
Yeah.
Well, let's go. Like, why wait? Let's go.
Yeah, let me just go pick up Argus. He promised he'd be there. Actually, can you get Soren? I sort of cocooned him into a hammock, so if you can just like bring him as well, that'd be great. We'll go together.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'll go get Argus.
Yeah, and I'll go grab Soren. I will definitely let Soren out of their cocoon rather than, like taking the whole hammock with me.
So much. Mochi's strong.
Honestly, accurate. Look, her only dumb stat is intelligence. Okay. There's a reason she didn't even make it into wizarding school to get out of wizarding school.
Betty, I'm assuming that Mochi filled you in on everything that's going on with Clarence.
I mean, yes, I got the highlights version. I'm not really sure I got all of the details, but it doesn't sound good. Even just the highlights don't sound good. So I suggested that we go find Clarence and get this figured out tonight before it gets worse.
Is Clarence in their hammock?
Clarence plane shifted to the city of Dis at this point.
They
heard an edited version of everything.
Where is Clarence?
Where is Clarence?
It's like 4 a.m. I think Clarence is sleeping soundly. Yeah, Clarence is like holding on to their little lute, and they're just like in their hammock, like as they're sleeping.
Okay, so I think they're still asleep. So I think it's probably not as bad as we thought it. It's okay.
Are we are we all just at the door, Scooby Doo style,
Like,
just like peeking in? If that's the case, Argus will just like to
I
wake
think we just knock.
to
Right.
wake him up.
Is it like assertive knocking?
It's a I mean, there's no
The
other way
king
for
is knocking.
yeah, the king
knocking?
is knocking. Yeah.
Okay.
It's-
I think Mochi probably knocked first, and that didn't wake you up at all because she was like, "I don't want to have this conversation knock where her knuckles barely graze the wood."
like,
Yeah.
Okay, Clarence like jumps, like gets visible air out of this hammock. And then kind of like lands all disheveled and then looks over. Oh, oh. Are we under attack?
no, but
Not us.
maybe.
Well, yeah.
we're gonna see in a second.
That's a lot of conflicting answers.
No, they all line up in the end if you know what we're talking about. Clarence, can we talk
Sure.
without your bag buddy?
Oh. Okay, yeah, we just leave the bag here and let's go.
Yeah, can we go somewhere
Do you wanna
little? Yeah, just leave the bag.
Okay.
Go somewhere kind of quiet, but not too quiet. Clarence, I am super worried about you. Like, super worried about you. Because you have been acting really weird ever since you have been trying to save Cal. And sometimes you look really, really creepy, and your band is suddenly skeletons. And that's not even all terrible, because I have necrotic spells, and sometimes I look weird, and that's fine. But when we were running away and we were almost safe, you turned around and you shot at the T-Rex for no reason, with like completely against the plan we had. And I don't think that was your idea. I think that was Cal's idea. And I don't know if you let Cal talk you into it or if he makes you do it, but I don't think you should be listening to Cal that much.
Okay. I see why you're worried. And I'm really, really sorry about what happened with the Queen of Feathers, because that was my choice that I made. And
why? What were you thinking?
but that's the thing. Well, because I was hoping that I got super powerful and I could save everybody, because I'm really just scared, because I don't want anybody else to get hurt or to lose anybody else.
But we were already almost safe. You made it worse. And you're smart. You're smarter than I am. You never do dumb things. That's what I do.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that I can't do dumb things sometimes.
Yeah, but normally you do other kinds of dumb things.
Clarence?
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
When after Grandma T-Rex shot at us and you kind of passed out a little bit, I called out to you. Do you remember what you told me?
Shot the T-Rex, and then the T-Rex did the lightning stuff.
Yeah.
No. If I said something, I don't, because I got hit by a lot of lightning.
And that's the part that scares me, because when I asked if you were okay, you responded and it was your voice, but it wasn't. And I don't trust the skull. I think it might have been using you when you were asleep.
Did anybody heal you after you were unconscious?
Yeah.
I casted Cure Wounds on them.
Yeah.
What level?
Just a one.
When we saw you, you looked way better than a first level spell.
Yeah,
And
you looked fine.
I've been
I
healed by
saved healing
Mochi
spells for
several
you.
times. I've been saved by Mochi several times, and that was you did not look like you got healed by a one level spell.
You look
Even someone
perky.
dumb as me can recognize that.
Oh. Well, there was this thing when we got on the boat, and then I think Cal did something. Because there were two bandits that didn't make it onto the boat. Because I think Cal might have done something like a life drain.
A what?
You had the skull and you put it on a bandit, or like Cal used your body for a life drain?
I don't know if Cal used my body, but it's just kind of like I knew what to do, so I touched them, and then I felt better.
In battle there are lots of out of body experiences. Your first kill, your first defeat. Did it feel like you were watching yourself from above or from a distance when this happened?
Like I was myself, but I also like wasn't myself, you know?
Gotcha.
You know, like when like you hit your head really hard and then like you sit up and then the world is spinning.
Concussion, yes.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay, it's a magical induced concussion. Gotcha. That's
But also, like, I touched Soren the entire time, and Soren was totally fine. And I'm pretty sure I touched like a bunch of other people as I was welcoming them onto the boat, and everybody else was fine.
This is before or after you touched the two
This
life
before.
drained individuals.
Yeah, no, this before those bandits.
Oh boy.
So, here's the thing, Clarence. Do you know I sometimes talk to Hath?
Yeah, like all the time.
Exactly. Well, sometimes she talks back and gives me useful answers. And I asked her, is Clarence acting entirely of their own free will? And Hath was like, not always. Do you know that sometimes Cal is apparently taking you over? Or is something other than Cal taking you over? Do we have to like fight another demon or something? Is it a fire demon? Did you get touched by the fire demon as well?
Oh no, definitely didn't get touched by a fire demon. But I don't think we have to fight anybody.
The fact that sometimes you're not acting of your own free will does not concern you? Clarence, you're a free spirit. You follow the road in your own 2 feet and not anybody else.
Yeah, that's what I'm still doing. But there's
no.
plenty of other people in the world that also like sometimes are driven by other forces, like clerics.
Yeah, Hath doesn't possess my body to do things with.
Well, not yet, but you never know. One day you could like need to do something really important, and Hath is like, "Don't worry, I got this."
Do something really important like drain bandits to death when the fight's already over and they're surrendering and we said they could be on our ship? That kind of important?
Did we say that?
Because that doesn't sound
Or
very
did we let them
important.
on?
Clarence!
I'm sorry. I'm not like hurting anybody.
Two bandits drained.
Yeah, but after
the fight.
How many bandits did we kill in that fight?
Yeah, well, there's feeding a T-Rex, and there's draining the life by using the magical powers of an ancient skull that ended up in a vault because they wanted to rule the world.
I don't think you wanted to rule the world. I think I'm sorry. I don't know. I see that you are worried for me, and I'm sorry that I am worrying you.
That is one of the most useless sentences you've said in your entire goddamn life.
That's just offensive. Does
Argus,
okay.
fix this. They're being. Ugh.
Is this the first time, or have there been multiple times during this journey?
No, this is the first time this has happened.
Okay. Have you made any more deals since your time in the vault?
I just asked Cal for help sometimes, or like kind of like you would like a mentor.
What does he ask for in return? And please be as clear as possible.
I don't think he's ever asked for anything in return. However, breaking him out of the vault that he's been locked in for 200 years does kind of tip the bargaining scales in my favor.
Fair. What deals have you made? When? What? And what have the deals been for him? It can't just be, oh, we're friends.
Oh.
Because truth be told, you're not. That thing is making deals to grow. It's not making deals to appease you. Your self-preservation is their game. Because the more you live, the more deals you can make. The more deals you make, the more you give up. It may seem small right now, but that sand is in an hourglass and it is pouring slowly.
But also, the more that I live, the more that I get to help the people that I care about.
This is true.
I can't help you if I'm not up to fighting.
You helped save the world without that skull.
Yeah, do you remember how badly I did in every single encounter we had?
What are you talking about?
You constantly had to heal me all the time. Our first time when we went down into the roots and you smashed somebody with a chair before you hit somebody with somebody else, I literally was like passed out in the first, like I didn't even get a hit in. I was just standing there and then I got knocked and then I was down and I couldn't do anything.
That was your first fight. Why use the first example as your worst example?
Because every other time was exactly the same thing. Sometimes I'd get a spell off, maybe. And sometimes I'd get to inspire somebody to do something great. But most of the time, I was just out.
So, what is this now? You are relying on somebody else to become a frontliner, a player in the game that you've already been playing?
I just asked for help.
You could have asked some help for us. Clarence, without a lot of your moments, without a lot of your inspiration, we would have lost way more than what we did. We've gained so much more because of your influence. And I'm sorry that we haven't done enough for you to believe that. Or said enough for you to believe that, but it's true. And I'm sorry you felt you had to result in kidnapping a ancient evil skull from a very easily broken into vault.
I know, right?
Not funny. You gotta be able to rely on us more. And not that thing. Because that thing wants to use you. That's all it wants. It does not want to be your friend. As friendly as you are one of the most friendly individuals in the world. I am blessed to be your friend. That blessing is not deserved by that thing. I'm so scared because I see Derek looking over to the side and tip typing.
You're totally fine. If I'm just checking in on the back because I love when we have intense scenes. If I can get a green card from everybody, or at least a thumbs up that we're all good. Just always want to check in on that kind of stuff. You all are doing absolutely amazing. Don't worry about me.
I'm worrying. I always worry when the DM's typing.
Look, I'm also making him type, okay? It's not just Shadow.
I'm just doing my emails at this point. Like the show's yours. I got stuff I need to do. Like y'all are fine.
Business, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Argus,
Yes.
thank you for being a voice of clarity. I think sometimes I'm just really used to being on my own, and I know that's weird to say after we just saved the entire Humblewood together. But I think that's kind of the curse of the Lupu, is that we usually always end up alone. But I would do better in the future to rely on my friends first. But I also won't hesitate to save any of your lives, no matter which way I have to do it. Because that's my choice to make.
Surely I get to say that I'd rather be dead than have you become the vessel for an evil lich. Like, by all means, try to resurrect me later, but... You know, I don't want you to also end up in a vault in 100 years.
It's really easy to break into the vault, though. I'm sorry.
At some point, they gotta learn how to build a better vault. We'll put my dad on it.
Here we go. We'll improve the vault. But
can we try something, though, before we come to absolutely no resolution whatsoever?
Like a group hug?
Yes, but one with a little bit of magic in it.
All group hugs are magic.
Magical group hug. Look, Mochi prepared Greater Restoration for this.
Ooh.
So, mid group hug, I would like to cast Greater Restoration on Clarence.
Thorin would also like to cast protection from evil and good after the Greater Restoration has been cast.
Sick. I love magic people.
It might do nothing, but Mochi at this point has to try.
Mm-hmm.
Greater restoration.
Yeah,
let's go back.
All of my money gone, but apparently I can. Clarence can loan me some extra, so it'll be fine.
So you are removing charmed or petrified, one curse.
One curse.
Any reduction.
Cursed
to the
item.
Scores. Okay. Or one effect reducing the target's hit point maximum. Okay. And then, Soren, you were doing protection from evil and good, which it really should be good and evil. I don't know why it's evil and good. It drives me nuts. Okay. That one. Till a spell ends, when willing creature you touch is protected against creatures that are aberrations, celestials, fae, fiends, or undead. Several benefits. Disadvantage on attack rolls against target. Target also can't be possessed by or gain the charmed or frightened conditions from them. The target is already possessed, charmed, or frightened by such a creature. The target has advantage. Okay. Let's see here.
It's like a double whammy.
It really is.
I have no clue what this is gonna do, but we'll see.
Yeah, neither.
It might not work.
It's just a very sparkly group hug.
Not so bright. The owl on me.
Close your eyes, little owl.
It's the
Close
power
your
of
eyes.
friendship.
It's so.
I mean, to be fair, the rest of us probably aren't going to actually know what it does, if anything at all.
No.
So.
It's just a little bright, and I'm like,
The sensitive allies.
Magic
Oh.
ants.
Argus, look away.
Fucking melt like
So
the Ark of the
starting
Covenant.
with Mochi, since Mochi was the first one cast. Mochi, what I will tell you is that you begin to channel your celestial magic. I think we've described before. It kind of looks like channeling starlight a little bit, almost like creating like constellations. And as you do, it ceases. You do not cast Greater Restoration. In fact, you feel a complete disconnect from your magic entirely, as it's almost like when you can like stop the feeling of wind on your skin. It's like this energy that you felt over you for so long is just gone, as you are currently in a little personal anti-magic field big enough just for you. um we're going to go ahead and roll for initiative then, before Soren you can get your spell off. Mochi, as you realize that your spell does not go off, you look past to the open doorway where the lich skull has rolled out of the bag and those ruby red eyes are just gleaming at you.
Yikes.
So
I kind of figured it would be something like that.
No. Oh
I had
no!
no clue.
Ah!
Help!
Get him, Soren.
Get him,
Just
Soren.
please me. And as you say, get him, Soren. I rolled a nat 20.
Yeah.
I also rolled a nat 20.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm going to move you all over to the map of the ship, because that's the closest thing I have to determine, where you are with what you're doing. I apologize, folks, we do not have a battle map necessarily present for you, but just know that it's only there so my party can know how contained in a space they are, with the ocean around them. Let's see here. Let's get some different music going, as this has been tense, but we need something more tense than that. Let's see. Where's my... Okay. Let's do this one here. Okay, so Soren, you said you got a 20?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Betty, what about you?
19.
Mochi?
Dirty 20. Doesn't Soren have anything to add to his initiative?
Oh, I have a 23 in total.
Okay.
But I know Argus is going ahead of me.
I also have 23. I have
Yeah, I
total,
know.
so
Oh, what?
Okay.
I'm average fast.
So Argus, then Soren, sounds like, and then Mochi, Betty, and then Clarence.
I got 22.
Ooh.
Okay. Fast.
Hey, how did you get out of the group hug?
Really tight initiatives for this particular battle. Nice work, team.
you said our friendship's better than you.
Like it is all up top.
Like we all
Surprise.
expected the skull to do something once it
Surprise,
started.
though, Cal actually has
really
like a
did.
25 or
That would-
something.
That'd be hilarious.
I actually need to check to see what his. He does have a +5 dex. Let's see.
Jeez. What?
Such bullshit.
You have a plus
He's a
5 as a
skull.
skull.
Oh!
He's a demi-lich.
Oh!
So
Skull.
I think it's because he is tiny and magical and like super maneuverable, because he does.
Right,
have-
right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got.
Because he also is rolling around.
Yeah. Well, he has a fly
Ridiculous.
speed. Weirdly enough.
He's got a
Oh my
flash.
He hasn't needed.
He
to
was
use
a
it yet.
bird.
He was.
So,
Oh, that explains everything. Thank
Yeah.
you, Clarence.
I'm still, ever since we decided that it was like not canon, but it was the only human skull in all of Humblewood.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes. That's that strange bit of.
Oh, yeah.
canon we added to this.
That's right.
Okay. So he did get a 21. So he will go
Absolutely
after Clarence
garbage.
before.
Garbage.
So we're on the map. I've kind of grouped you all together, Clarence, next to the skull there. You may maneuver yourselves wherever you need to be. I would recommend zooming in, as we don't need all of the ocean space. But it still should be an accurate 5-foot grid.
But we were all really close to Clarence.
When did Clarence leave the group hug? Did he even
Yeah.
notice that I
He's like,
got anti-magic
blasted.
fielded?
Got blasted back.
Because we were hugging. And
Yeah,
now
we
he's
were-
like 50 feet
well,
away from me. Get
Right.
back
So
in
that's
here,
what I'm
Clarence.
saying. Maneuver yourselves wherever you need to be. This
Okay.
was left over from our Wakeworm
Oh
fight.
yeah, this is the
Oh, okay.
map. Yeah.
Oh, no, theoretically we'd be on this side because Cal came out of the door on that side.
Okay.
And we're
Is
all
the
hugging.
is Lorelai actually there, or do we need to remove her token?
I
Listen.
will say that if you Lorelai was going to be in the water for right now. If you need her,
Ah, Laura, no.
she says it's fine. I'm
Swim,
swimming.
Lorelai, swim.
But if you need her, she will be on call. We can consider that. That is easier than me tracking down her token again.
Fair enough.
Okay, so with top of the order, then Argus, you notice as the skull is now floating its way out of the doorway. This like red crackle of energy, like lightning, kind of sparking off of it around the door as it comes through.
Does it
Really,
say
you should've
anything, or is
left.
he just?
Sorry, go ahead, please.
No. I was going to ask if he's saying anything, but.
Yeah, you really should have left well enough alone.
I
Oh,
think
well.
you would have heard Mochi swearing when her greater restoration like got cut off. It's like, he took my magic. Piece of shit.
So Argus, what would you like to do?
I am going to. We're going to zoom on in. Bing, bop, boom with a teleport. And just be right in front of him. And he's just like, remember what I said. Itty bitty pieces. And he's just going to smash.
Did
Okay.
we get some intimidation on that? Because yikes, I would be scared.
Let me get this over here.
This is an ancient Dark Lord. I don't know.
This is the Dark Lord.
he's seen some shit.
He's seen some, but he's about to see nothing because he's going to be reduced to atoms.
Hey.
So that first attack is with advantage. That is a 29 to hit.
Yes, a 29 will hit.
That is 18 damage on the first hit.
Okay, and you do have a magical weapon. Which
I
is
sure
good
do.
to
This-
know.
Maul of Thrones command.
All right.
And-
Yes, you come down, smashing into the skull, and you definitely like feel that connection. Yeah, it maintains like that hovering flight, but you kind of like knock it off course a little bit as it kind of like sways back, and it's kind of like trying to maneuver, trying to avoid the next tamer smash.
You can't run away. You can't run away. Should have stayed in that bag. And I'm gonna. Do I get advantage on this one too? Let me see. You know what? No, I'm gonna use my crit. I'm gonna use my crit for the second one. I've got them loaded up, so we're gonna just roll that beautiful bean footage for the crit damage. So that's 19. And then I have a new ability because we leveled up. You graciously gave us a level up. And Scofflaws have this beautiful thing, this wonderful thing that they get. Let me look. Where is it at? Where's this beautiful thing at? It's called Blindside. You are truly skilled at exploiting the openings you create in combat, hitting off-guard opponents with precise blows that are swift and deadly. On a hit, you exploit an opening in the target's defenses, dealing an extra 5d6 damage.
Okay.
So, because I crit, that's an extra 10d6. So, I'm gonna roll that now.
It's a very good use. Well done.
Thank you.
Level 10.
Level 10. Level 10. Oh my god, there's so many dice that D&D Beyond won't even load it.
That's why I use actual click clacks.
I don't have 10d6 on me. I do a lot of rolling. That's 36 extra damage on top of that.
Great.
That's my first two attacks. And you know what? I haven't hit something in a while. Let's do an action surge and do it 2 more times, baby. And you know what? Because I've got him, let's just do 2 more crits. You know what? I told this skull. I said it. I promised it that I would smash it to bits.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna get that wish. So
Oh,
Now I have nothing. That's 21 damage.
Okay.
And 23 damage. As
Amazing.
it's just a swing fast. Anytime he tries to move, it's like I already know where it's gonna move. Like I've been watching this thing and I've been wanting to hit it since day one.
Absolutely. Excellent. Anything else for your turn?
No, that's it.
Okay. Skull is looking incredibly rough, incredibly beaten up at this point. Right after Argus takes that final swing, you see as the skull like stabilizes its place in the air, and you all begin to feel this rumbling from beneath your feet as the ship begins to rock violently. I will need a DC 19 dexterity saving throw, please.
This is garbage.
I haven't rolled yet, but I already know I'm using one of my advantages.
Okay. I'm going to use one of my fighter rerolls, Indomitable. I'm going to use Indomitable to get a reroll on that because that was awful. That was a 4. So we're going to reroll that. That's a 22 for me.
Okay.
That's a 16 for Clarence.
16 also for Soren.
With
That's
the
a-
advantage, a 19 exactly for Mochi.
Okay.
It's a hard 8.
Damn.
Oh no!
If you failed, you are knocked prone. If you succeeded,
Sweet.
you remain standing. All right. Let's see. Next turn. Where are we at turn order? Next up is Soren. So Soren, you were knocked prone, but you were able to regain your footing. What would you like to do?
While all of this, while Cal has been getting his skull knocked up against the washer and the dryer, how is Clarence looking?
Shadow?
Physically, Clarence looks fine. I
Okay.
think you can definitely tell that there is this strong, the strong look of fear and uncertainty in his eyes.
I will also state that as a legendary action, Caliban does move just to the other side of Argus there, maintaining distance, but kind of spinning around him then, whether to knock him off guard or to clear distance. You're not exactly sure. Soren,
Derek?
please. Yes.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
I know this skull is amazing, but technically anti-magic field is a concentration spell.
It is. This is part of its lair action. So it
Yes.
will be.
However, it got beaten repeatedly, so it needs to make several concentration checks.
The way the
Oh,
Demi Lich's lair action works is the anti-magic field affects you until the end of your next turn. So Mochi will be no longer under the effect of it after the end of her turn. For the sake, this is not a concentration spell. It's the essentially the way I'm justifying this is Clarence has been carrying around the skull for so long on this ship that it is starting to make the ship its lair and
I thought
have.
the bag was its lair.
Get you
Fuck you,
It's like saying your
Clarence.
clothes are your house. I don't know.
So does Soren have access to his magic?
Soren does. Yeah, Mochi is
Okay,
the only
okay,
one
okay.
under the effect of
Just
anti-magic,
me.
and like I said, that is temporary.
That's really good.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I just had to make sure.
And Soren's protection from evil didn't go through, right?
It did not. So essentially, you did something. The
And then
skull
everything kicked
reacted,
off.
and then
Yeah.
yes, and then we moved into
Okay.
initiative order.
Okay.
You may
With
actually
that-
absolutely cast protection against evil and good if you would like.
Soren would look at Clarence, still on the ground and just like getting up. Do you trust us?
I've always trusted you.
Hey, I put my hand out to you, and I would like to cast protection from you.
Okay.
I
So
feel like it's coming for you.
So this aura kind of appears over Clarence. This natural shield made of elemental magic. Um, let's see if we can get through a turn order and then maybe wrap up from there. Maybe we'll be able to get through this. Okay, next up then, Alyssa, you have anything else? Soren, Clarence, it is
I'm
your turn.
double checking one
Please.
thing real quick. I don't want to do that on the ship. That would be bad. That's it.
Okay. So Clarence, I will have you make a wisdom save with advantage.
Righty. That is a 15.
Great. You can hear, not even in your head, but you can hear Caliban like shouting to you from the deck. Attack them, Clarence. It's you and me against the world and them included. I've given you so much, Clarence. Use it. But you don't feel any drive necessarily to.
Okay.
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 I will note that because I crit, because I use crits, everyone does have advantage on it until the start of my next turn.
Oh,
Fantastic. Oh, and actually, I'm sorry, to that point, before your turn, Clarence, I will use another legendary action. I need everybody, I think, except for Betty. Yes, I need
She's already
except,
prone. Sorry, guys.
everybody except for Betty, I need a DC 15 Constitution save.
hey,
Yes.
Constitution.
Yes.
19.
21. Okay.
That's a strong 4.
You get seasick out here. Oh, let's go.
Did anybody fail? Okay. Clarence, your hit points are reduced. Your maximum hit points are reduced by 12.
Okay.
Yeah, and that this. Okay.
So that brings me to that much. Okay. Cal, I thought we were very clear about this. My party are not the enemy, and they never will be the enemy. And I don't have to choose, Cal, but you're kind of making me choose here.
They're the ones that are trying to separate us, Clarence. From all that power, all the things that made you great.
Cal, I thought we were working on this. Power isn't what makes somebody great. It's the people that you surround yourself with that do. Thought we were working on that, Cal.
What I thought we were working on was making you say correct things, but I suppose you'll die how you lived. Strong and wrong.
Okay.
The most insulting retort to an insult is just, okay.
Okay. You can think that. You still have time to change your mind though, but I don't think you have much more time. Clarence is going to attempt a polymorph
Okay.
on the skull.
Okay.
Or 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4. That's a DC 16 Wisdom save.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you right now, it fails. The Demilich cannot be changed by cannot be reformed by magic.
Okay, Mochi, polymorph is out.
He stole my magic. I can't do shit anyway. Thanks, buddy. Not you, the skull.
Oh, we can ask Hat for help, but don't worry, I got a backup plan. I don't think you'll like it, but I have a backup plan if we need it.
That sounds terrifying.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Clarence, I'm one who also tells people not to worry about things, and they should definitely be worrying about the things I tell them not to worry about. I know how this goes. I know it's game plan. It's our game plan. I know this is not going to be a good idea.
Let's see here. Clarence is going to give a bardic inspiration to Betty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a D8, just so you know.
Okay. Anything else for your
That's-
turn?
Yeah, no, that's everything.
I do want to shout out, welcome Raiders. We do have a giveaway going on in chat right now. We are wrapping up very soon, so please use, I believe it's #uppies for a chance to win a pin and or a hoodie, courtesy of Fauna and Flora International. It's a gift, or it's a code that gets you 45 British pounds towards the Fauna and Flora store. Okay. It is Caliban's turn. I will need a DC, what is this? DC 15 Constitution saving throw. Again, this is for
Again.
everyone.
Dirty 20.
Fantastic.
25.
Wait, what is this again? Sorry.
DC 15 con save.
Oh, another concept.
You're made of Constitution. You're fine.
19.
Ooh, that was almost real bad. 19. You said that as I was rolling. It was a 4 for like a hot second. I was like, oh no. Ah!
Look, when I yelled at Soren, he got a 20, you know?
You yelled at me, I almost got a 4.
We're all just so pissed that this skull it's just not working.
I failed.
Exactly, because you're not pissed at the skull, or at least not
This
pissed
just
off
makes
enough.
sense.
It just makes sense
Makes
thematically,
sense.
yeah.
It's just telling a story, man.
This is, by the book, this is an action called Howl. The Demi-Lich emits a blood-curdling howl. Each creature that can hear it must succeed on DC 15 Constitution save throw or drop to 0 hit points. On a successful save, the creature is frightened until the end of its turn. So, Clarence, you are now at 0 hit points. The rest of you are frightened.
I can't get frightened. I'm immune.
Then, Argus, you are not frightened. And as this thing then uses its legendary action to go flying towards Clarence, Argus, you may absolutely, if you would like, take a attack of opportunity.
Oh, you know I will, bud. And I see that we got another crit, so you know it's coming. Oh, you
You're
know it's
welcome.
coming. It's coming. Oh, go get him.
I mean, I'm donating for the animals, not for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Donate for those animals. That's a lot of 6s. That's 23 damage total.
Crush the skull. Crush the skull.
You're muted if you're talking.
No, I was just saying it was so close. Okay. You smack the back end of the cranium of this skull as it goes flying towards Clarence. That is it for its turn. Mochi, it is your turn.
Yep. I get my magic back at the end of this, right?
Yes, you get your magic back at the end of this turn.
I did a honestly disturbing amount of Googling while it wasn't my turn. And I found the tweet by Jeremy Crawford that says that I can channel divinity even when I'm in an anti-magic field.
Fantastic.
The thing is, he's too high level for a proper destroy undead. But I can at least hop on over there and try a regular turn undead. Those have to be for turn undead. 30? 30.
I think you might have those flipped because turn undead is the smaller one. You might be able to destroy undead.
No, I can destroy undead, but the lich is
Okay.
going to be a 2. You know what? I'll try it. What's the worst that can happen is that it fails.
If I could offer something, because I've already taken your magic away and it makes me feel bad, it does have turn immunity. The Demi-Lich is immune to effects that turn undead.
Fair enough.
So,
In that case,
to
I will
save
use
you
my
a turn.
Well, in that case, I'm going to use my bonus action, Channel Divinity, to harness divine power and give myself spell slots back for when I do get my magic back.
Okay.
And then we're going to walk on over to this skull. I'm going to hit it with my mace.
Please do.
I will use one of my auto crits.
Okay.
Because I can. Because I don't like this skull. And then... Oh god, I have to look up what I roll for this thing. I've never used my mace. D8, D6, D6, D8. Okay, great.
When your spellcasters have to use their weaponry.
Bruh.
Look.
Not fun.
We're calling this the... I don't like doing this, but I do know how to do this.
Yeah.
As Mochi. Anniek forgot. Mochi remembers. Oh, that's a good roll. But now I have to do math, and that's not good. 12, 23 points of damage. Some of it is radiant, if that's important. The rest is just bludgeoning.
Important. Yeah, what is the bludgeoning?
The bludgeoning is 9.
Okay.
And then 14 is radiant.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Looking really, really rough. Is there anything else for your turn, Mochi?
Yeah, I don't think I get to hit it again.
And that's a bummer about clerics. Clerics really do need extra attack.
Well, I already used the Channel Divinity as well.
Yeah,
So.
only the war one gets an extra attack, I believe.
Fine.
Okay.
I will just revel in the feeling of that skull partially cracking under my mace.
Okay. Actually, I'm so sorry to do this. You were under the frightened condition for that. We're going to go ahead and say like that'll happen anyway. I do want to remember that moving forward though, because I don't want you to have to undo a turn. But yeah, let's remember that. I'm going to have the Demilich use its next legendary action to make a cloud of dust. So this is just a 10-foot. I guess that's just going to affect Mochi, I think. So
Sure.
Mochi, I need a DC 15. This is another DC 15 Constitution save.
$15 exactly.
Perfect. Okay. While surrounded by.
Please don't make me roll intelligence saving throws.
For sure. While surrounded by dust, we can say this is like essentially dim. We'll still, to balance out, I might say you still have a little bit of disadvantage if on like opportunity attacks as if this thing goes to move away from you. Otherwise, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. Betty, it is your turn.
Well, you would have disadvantage, but with my advantage, it's flat.
It would be flat. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
I
right.
do. If it's dim light, I have advantage in dim light, so that would make it not advantage in dim light.
Right. I'm trying to balance out the fear concept as well.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. But yes, Betty, it is your turn. You are under the effect of the frightened condition.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I have a question.
Yeah.
About that. Okay. Anyway, Betty's gonna stand up, so that's half of her movement speed gone anyway. My question is, with rage, I get an ability called Feral Instinct, which tells me that if I'm not surprised, or if I am surprised but not incapacitated at the beginning of combat, if I rage before I do anything else, I can act normally. Would you consider allowing me to act normally if I rage?
Actually, I really like the concept of a rage shaking you out of fear, like getting so scared that you're angry at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be this person, but you are absolutely this person that goes into like haunted house attractions and punches the people. Like,
look, nobody knows Betty's backstory yet. Okay, like let's not spoil this kind
you're
of
not
stuff.
my dad, Freddy
Woo!
Krueger.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, that's what we're gonna do. Betty's pissed. She's gonna rage. And we are going to move directly in front of Clarence, which doesn't do anything except put her in between Clarence and Cal. So we're finally gonna get a chance to use the net. I'm so excited.
Let's go.
Yeah, so she's gonna pull that jar out of her bag and take the top off and pull the net out and just boop. And I think because of where she's positioned on the map, I'm kind of hoping maybe you'll let me take advantage on the roll because she's tossing it up and over as opposed to like straight out across a battlefield. I feel like she'd have better ability to hit it properly. So, okay. And this is a strength roll for me to attack with because it is a thrown weapon. Oh, that's 19. 19 to hit.
Does not hit.
No! Okay,
Demi
well...
have an AC of 20.
Is that with reckless though?
I mean, it's not, but I also didn't say that. So.
Recklessly throwing that.
Yeah. You
Whatever.
just throw it, not really paying attention. Yeah,
Don't
you
like
have
this
to.
net.
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
to
gotcha.
say you're gonna do that, unfortunately, and I did not. So.
Damn. No.
The net's on the ground next to him now, though, right?
Yes, correct. The net would be on the ground. Yeah. Yep. And at that point, she would probably see that she didn't connect with the net and then yell, "Mochi, don't touch that net!" Because it'll hurt.
Never mind. How dumb do you think I am?
How?
You
Never
don't-
mind. No, I'll actually I have to ask this.
You don't know which net it is. I don't know. It's dusty down there.
Okay. Betty, anything else for your turn?
Just
Okay.
waiting for the
The
next
skull
one.
is going to use another one of its legendary actions. It's flight, and it is going to fly over to Clarence. I need to look at the language on something.
Do I get an attack of opportunity on that?
Do I get an attack of
Betty
opportunity
does not.
on that?
Mochi, you would with disadvantage.
But it's also, it turns to advantage, so it's flat.
Yes, we will consider that flat. We'll consider that a
Flat.
flat roll.
Flat.
Flat.
Look, I only have like a +6, but we're gonna try.
Hey. 14 and higher, let's go.
I just hate this thing. That is a 15 plus
Hey.
enough. Right.
Okay.
21.
21. All right. Radiant. I'll roll this. I'll roll radiant separately. 5 bludgeoning and 6 bludgeoning and 7 radiant.
Okay.
You got any bonuses to that, or is it just
That's
strength?
already in there. It's a D6 bludgeoning and a D8 radiant.
Gotcha.
D6 plus 1 bludgeoning.
Okay.
You get a good crack on that skull, like the tip of the beak clips off with that as it flies out of the dust storm and past Betty. Because Clarence went down, he is no longer under the protection of evil and good, and so you watch as the skull descends onto Clarence's unconscious bunny noggin, and you watch as Clarence rises into the air, hovering, now wearing the mask of this skull, the gleaming eyes where Clarence's eyes would be. And as Clarence's voice and Caliban's Skullkeeper's voice speak in unison, hovering above the wind, whipping all about, he calls down to all of you, "Clarence is gone. I am Caliban's Skullkeeper. Kneel, or you all will die." And that's where we're going to end the session.
This is fine. Everything's gonna be great.
fine.
It's
Totally
fine.
Oh.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, Mochi's gonna be painting "I told you so" on the Sentinel shield.
It sees everything, even the future. So
Oh,
Shadow, I'll need
goodness.
Clarence's character sheet.
Shit.
I'm just kidding. No, Shadow and I are going to have a nice conversation about consent and autonomy and all of that. And we're all going to have a nice little conversation about PvP. But that's all going to happen after this session because your players are important as human beings. Don't just take things from them. Share your toys. Thank you all
Excuse
for
me.
joining us. Thank you all
Yeah,
for joining
Shadow
us.
is
for
sharing
another
Clarence.
episode. Yeah, we're sharing everything. Heck, I might just give the Demilich Steplock to Shadow and let Shadow just have a good time being the bad guy. I can sit back and eat honey roasted peanuts.
For your emails.
From Costco. So, thank you for joining us for another
Violence.
episode of Humblewood Yonderbound. I am Derek Sorda. I've been your GM. I use he, him pronouns. I'm going to have these lovely people say more about themselves and where you can find more of them. And we are also going to wrap up our giveaway. This is your last chance. Hashtag uppies in chat for a chance to win a pin or a code for a essentially 45 pounds sterling worth of stuff from the Fauna and Flora International website, which they've got some really cool stuff on there. If you like pangolins, if you like pandas, rhinos, gorillas, they got lots of really cool animal stuff. And honestly, I have a T-shirt, I have a hoodie, really good quality too. And it's nice stuff, so it's not like super cheap. So it's nice to have a chance to get it for even cheaper, if not free. 45 pounds sterling does cover the cost of a hoodie plus shipping, but if you want to get something less than that, if you do enter, please be aware that we do need to be able to contact you in some way. So be reachable either by Discord or email or what have you. If you're not already a part of the community, I'll talk about how you can join. Actually, just join our Discord. It's at beacons.ai/swordandkey. I'll do all that stuff here in a second. But thank you for your viewership. Thank you so much for your support. I do actually want to say real quick at the top here, or at the, not the top, but Fauna and Flora International has been focusing a lot of their work recently on the wildfires in Belize. Obviously, we are dealing with wildfires all over the world, and in the United States, the LA wildfires have been getting most of the press. Valid. But wildfires in Belize actually took out a Fauna and Flora International headquarters down there and have been pretty devastating towards the local ecology. So Fauna and Flora is trying to get a foothold once again and continue their efforts of preservation and restoration. So please consider donating. It is a fantastic cause to put your money towards. I'm going to stop the really intense music. It's less appropriate for that. Let's go ahead and go around and see if we can find more of you. Shadow, if you don't mind starting us out.
Yeah, hi. I'm Shadow. You can find me everywhere relevant at Shadow Sylvia. I got a couple things going on this month, so keep an eye on the socials for all the excitement that's happening, especially on Wednesdays. It's a good time. What was I gonna say? Oh, I've been Clarence. Your College of the Undead Road Bardlock. Who knows? I guess next week I'll be Caliban the Skullkeeper, all powerful with the side of Clarence. We'll see what happens then.
Wonderful. Thank you, Shadow. Thank you so much for your trust and everything through this as well. Clarence was a great character. We're all going to miss him a lot. Next up, we have Liz.
Hi, friends. I'm Liz. You can find me here. This is the only place that I am. I am not anywhere else. So if anybody else says that they're me, they're an imposter, and that's super weird and kind of creepy. I have been Betty, the Herald of the Storm Barbarian. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. We did a good thing. It was great. Awesome. Yep. I'm not doing anything else. This is it. I'm here. Whatever. Bye. I'm done.
Liz is also a game maker, and I highly recommend that you check out all of the amazing games, especially if you're looking for solo player journaling games. Please check out all of the incredible stuff that Liz has made. Next up, we have Queon.
Oh goodness. Hello, you beautiful people. I am Queon. I go by Brother Queon across all of the internets. And you saw me playing Soren Dryspell, your little circle of sand druid Tilia dude. And I had a blast. I hope my friend makes it out alive. I'd never trusted that skull. But I've got some pretty exciting stuff coming down the pipe. Same thing that Shadow said, be on the lookout for Wednesdays. It's a pretty fun time. If you like Survivor, it's great. But if you enjoy anything that I brought to the table here, just imagine me as a GM. And you get to see that next month over on Batty Bards when World Replica drops. And I am very excited and terrified for the shit that I've put my players through. But aside from that, this Friday, the Plot Armory, my online apparel brand, will be opening, and I'm very excited about that. It has been a labor of love, and I am super excited. Yeah, just a brand for people. Everyone deserves to feel like the main character in their own life. So yeah, that's me.
Amazing. We're all very excited for that. Speaking of quality articles of clothing, at least from what I've seen, I am very excited to hopefully be one of the first to support that. Yeah, it's so awesome. Next up, we have Anniek.
Hi, my name is Anniek. I got to play Mochi today, who is learning that talking about your problems tends to lead to big, scary battles. This is definitely the lesson she should be taking away from all of this. Yeah, she's gonna be fine. I will be here next Friday along with Liz, who apparently forgot or panicked or whatever, because we have finally rescheduled our Woodland Gods hack game. We're gonna be having a fun little. Okay, that's a lie. We're gonna have a horror time. It's gonna be gross. It's gonna be nasty. They're in a haunted forest. Their god died. And now these poor cultists have to find a new god before the other cultists or other gods horribly destroy them. There are some parallels with Humblewood, but we're going to make it a little more gruesome. Other than that, I'm here on Sundays in Humblewood. Once Humblewood concludes season 2, I get to run Tales from the Loop, and then I get to run Mothership. And then there's other things that don't have dates or casts yet. So keep an eye on the Sword and Key Discord and socials, because that's where we dump our casting calls if you ever want to play at a table with me and some other amazing people. That's it.
Amazing. Thank you. And yes, we're very excited for Woodland Gods and all of the dark frolicking. Is that a fair? I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're basically frolicking through the bleeding trees.
Oh. Okay.
Did you know grass can have pustules?
What?
We're gonna have so much fun Friday.
What are we doing here?
Not here. Nope, that's Friday. That's Anniek's time. That's not here.
That's when I run things.
Christian, please save us. It's your turn.
Oh boy, hey, I'm still thinking about the grass thing. Hey everybody, hi, hey, my name is Christian, aka Fluffy Goomba, all over the internets. I'm a TTRPG performer, educator, and event coordinator here in the space. I have been your crit machine. I spent all the crits. I was saving them for another person, but the skull needed to be dealt with. But now it's got to be dealt with again. Ooh, the skull. It's pushing it. It's pushing it. I'm gonna. I have things in my mind that calculate about what I want to do to the skull. Great. It's good shit. Also grass now apparently. So I'm thinking about those two things. So
yeah, lots to think about before next week. But I promise I will have plenty of our own deadly plans. Just not. I don't think that disturbing. I don't know. Okay. So again, thank you for joining us for another episode of Humblewood Yonderbound. I am just so lucky to play with these people every week, nearly every week, as we are going to have a day off here in the near future. But I'll go over that here in a second. I do want to say that this is Sword and Key game. You can join, or you can hang out with all of Sword and Key's many things and stuffs and whatevers, all at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can join our Discord there and be a part of our community and hang out with cool people, talk about cool things. Also see applications when they come out first. They will also go to our socials later. But first, if you want to get first dibs, Discord's the place to be. You can also see our socials, which is like Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter. That is sword_and_key. So it's just underscores between the words for all of those. You can also find our ongoing philanthropic endeavors like Fauna and Flora International or Palestine Children's Relief Fund, which we have the games wrapping up, Journey to Book's End and Zenith, both wrapping up actually this week, but both were in support of Palestine Children's Relief Fund, PCRF. We also generally raise money for Canine Companions for Independence, and then Woodland Gods, which is going to end out this week, is in support of NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness. Lots of great causes to put your money towards. You can also see stuff like our Pally links, which we try to tip our players for games like Horizon's Call and Gate Night, where we play Baldur's Gate 3. So you can find all that stuff. You can also find our affiliate links if you are looking to purchase some stuff in this post-holiday season, this new year, especially from places like Hit Point Press. You can use our special link to do so and help them out, help us out, and get cool stuff like Humblewood Tales or the Griffin Saddlebag books. I believe the first one might still be sold out, but I'll get it once it comes out. I have the digital version until then. You can also see other. I was trying to remember what some of our other stuff was. Eldritch Foundry, if you're looking to get custom minis, and we are currently in talks for a new dice company to partner with. And then we also have Wishbone Cosmetics if you're looking for a really cool makeup palette. Cool. Other stuff. Let's look at our calendar. So there's feels like we're almost halfway through the month of January already. That is wild. So tomorrow we have the final finale of Journey to Book's End. That is Monday, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. On Tuesday we have the return of Gate Night, where we play Baldur's Gate 3. That's Shadow LD and I. That's 6:30 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesdays. Let's see. Happy belated birthday to Shadow, by the way. We didn't have a game. Shadow's birthday was the 8th, so very happy birthday to Shadow. She looks just so lovely for being 22. Next up on the calendar on the 16th, we have the final finale of Zenith. Technically, this is a one-off episode, which was a character feature of the character Eris, one of the assassins from that game. There was a one-on-one game between Abhishek and the GM Alex. So that's a pre-recorded game. That'll be 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. And then Woodland Gods, the hack of Woodland Gods that Anniek is running, will be on the 17th. It's Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Horizon's Call will be taking off this week, but Humblewood this coming week. Well, it technically took off yesterday too. But Humblewood will be back the 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and then Humblewood will be taking off the 26th. Other than that, like I said, we're going to have some applications out soon because a lot of our normal games are wrapping up, and we want to try to feature more people and more things. So we will at least have stuff out for Cursed Captains of Cthulhu, as well as probably Mice of Legend, stuff like that in the near future. We've got a lineup of some pretty great games to feature. So if you've ever wanted to be a part of those games, or if you've ever wanted to run a game on our channel, please be a part of our Discord, and please reach out to myself or Eva or any other person of our leadership team. Again, it means a lot how much has been donated to Fauna and Flora International. They do a lot of great work in a world where it clearly is needed, and so I'm very appreciative to everyone who has done so, and who has also made this game more fun by letting our fighter crit attack a demi-lich over and over and over with a magic maul. That's really fun too, as I'm literally just I pull up a calculator app because I don't do brain math, and it's just watching those really high numbers drop lower and lower and lower. So thank you. It's fun, and it goes towards great cause. I believe that is it for today. Also, thank you all for sticking around a little bit longer than normal. We'll go ahead and wrap up things. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll leave it to my wonderful tech person, who I also should shout out right here at the end. Thank you to Kaila Castleberry for running tech, and thank you to Mikyl Sandoval for doing art. I forgot to mention him earlier. So check out Mikyl, especially on Instagram, MIKYL SANDOVAL, Sandoval, for all of his artwork. He also has a channel on our Discord because he's a great member of our community. So if you like the artwork you see here, please give him money to do more of it. But yes, special thank you to Kaila also for running tech. I believe that's it. I'm just rambling at this point. So until next time, take care of yourselves. And remember the Humblewood motto: no body, no crime, no drama.